How is everyone doing tonight? I will quickly say, shout out to Krabby's Cards in here early. Um, I am not going to be live every week. We are not, we're booming, but we're not booming quite that hard. So last year, between October and like May, we were booming so hard on YouTube everywhere that I was doing weekly live streams for a while, while simultaneously doing every other week on Pokeflips. The reason that I'm live right now, after having been live last week, is because we go to card party. My wife and I go to card party tomorrow night, and Nick goes really early Thursday, and we're just like not feeling doing we're not feeling doing Pokeflips this week. Nick was fighting something off, I think, maybe feeling a little under the weather too, wanted to get some extra sleep. So yeah, no Pokeflips tomorrow as it would be regularly scheduled. We are going to move it back to Thursdays. We've been on Wednesdays for a while. We're bouncing that back to Thursdays. So stay tuned. Not this Thursday, because we'll be in Washington, but the next Thursday. Next Thursday, Nick and I will be back at it on Pokeflips every other week from October 9th. And then so on the week of October 15th, 16th, I'll be live solo every 2 weeks thereafter. Back into the normal rhythm there. Sometimes we just need to like skip a week, go from odd weeks to even weeks or vice versa. But where are the red lights? They're not here yet. Maybe they will get here at some point. Peak That Chew says Destined Rivals will be MSRP again. I'm assuming that's mostly him trolling at my take. I don't know though. I don't know for certain what Peak That Chew thinks. I don't know if he genuinely thinks, like most people, it feels that there's no shot, guaranteed, zero chance it will go to MSRP ever again. I'm still there. It will go to MSRP or lower per pack. Booster boxes, booster bundles, ETBs, collection tins, I don't know, but packs of Destined Rivals. I believe will be widely available to the consumer for sub MSRP. And I've been saying that for months and it's not happened. But I can only be proven wrong after a couple years pass. I can eventually be proven wrong. You say certain things, you can't be proven wrong. You can only be proven right eventually, right? But yeah, if Destined Rivals doesn't go sub MSRP by like May of 2027, 2 years, now it's like, okay, if it's $10 a pack in May of 2027, I will throw in the towel. I will say I was wrong. I will be sad. I will have a pity party about how I only have 4 cases of Destined Rivals on the pallets. How about them Jets? How about them Jets? How about them Mets? I mean, Mets missed the playoffs with that payroll. Best record in baseball, I believe, at the All-Star break. I'm not like a big, huge baseball fan. Every year, I'm less and less of a football fan, less and less of a sports fan in general. It could have something to do with the teams that I chose to follow, but I think it just also has to do with like other priorities. My point in my life, maybe I'll become more of a fan as I get older. One big thing about like football Sunday for me is my kids have soccer, and that breaks up football Sunday a lot. So I'm not there in the seat watching as I used to. I'm not breaking down product, mass ripping packs, whatever it may be. I'm not doing those Pokemon tasks in front of Red Zone on Sunday like I used to. I watch the primetime games is about it for the most part. Primetime games, and then maybe I catch a 4 o'clock if we don't have anything else going on. But anyways, as always, I'm going to be here for the next 60 minutes to 240 minutes. Let's see if we can go 4 hours tonight. We went 3 hours last week, so I feel like 4 hours would be unlikely. But as always, ask any questions. Ask any questions. I will answer them to the best of my ability. I am not spitting gospel here. I am just telling you what I'm doing and why. I am navigating this boom, this market, the best that I can, as everyone should be doing. I am making big boy decisions for my business day in and day out, and I am standing by those decisions, whether they're right or wrong. Usually it's a spectrum, right? I never go all in. That's actually one thing. So I have quite a few bullet points of things that I want to touch on. I covered the first bullet point in that I moved Pokeflips to next week. All or nothing, I put in my notes for tonight's live. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. A lot of thinking a lot of things in life in general. People just get very line in the sand, pick a side. Like if you're watching the Jets and the Dolphins, you have to pick a side, right? Maybe you were watching the Cowboys Packers game. Maybe you're rooting for a tie. Maybe you're that. I'm not so on the fence that I'll root for a tie in a football game. But if you're watching football, it's tribalism at its best. Professional sports. You pick your team. You root against the teams you don't like. You root for the team you like, and you got to pick a winner. It's binary, all or nothing. Life doesn't have to be that way in many instances. Certain things in life, it's you gotta pick one thing, whatever it may be. But in Pokemon, I've done multiple consults this month where people are like, Dan, I've got 10 grand, I've got 50 grand, I've got 100 grand. What should I go in on? And I just, as I always do, I will never tell people what to buy, what to sell, what to do. It's just like, if I had 100 grand, I mean, I do in Pokemon stuff, what would I buy? If you had asked me 3 months ago, people did ask me 3 months ago on this YouTube channel, what would I buy? I was buying 151 loose packs in mass. Some people were buying Destined Rivals for $250 a box. They've done really well. I've done really well too. Who's done better? Depends on the day. What one day there for like 1 minute, 1 hour maybe. Destined Rivals was $600-700 a box, right? On TCG Player there. That was the big thing to click and talk about on YouTube. But I was late for that. But Destined Rivals is now like $440 or something. I actually pulled that up in case we talked about it. Destined Rivals is like $440 or something. So it's up similar percentage wise. It's up similar percentage wise as my 151, because I was buying 151 for $9 a pack, and now it's at like 15 or 16. So not quite double, but not too far off either. And yeah, a lot of people will be like, Dan, Destined Rivals, I gotta have it. It's getting old now. Prismatic ETB, whatever it is, whether it's Prismatic ETBs, whether it's some random booster bundle, whether it's Crown Zenith, Sea and Sky collections, I don't care what it is. Like, one thing that you can do is you can always just like, you don't need to just spend all the money at once. Especially if it's $100, okay, maybe you have to spend all the money at once. I talk with people that are like, Dan, I've got 50 cases of this or that in my cart ready to go, or I've got them negotiated private sale with this person, and it's like, should I do it? Can you do 20? Can you do 30 instead of 50? Can you do half your money now and then kind of sit tight? And that's exactly what I'm doing. Like with Destined Rivals, I want Destined Rivals. I like it. I think in a long enough timeline, Destined Rivals will be $1,000 box, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 box. 5, 10 plus years, maybe longer, maybe way less, maybe a year, 2 years. But I think Destined Rivals will be worth a lot of money someday, and I want it. I want a lot of it, but not at today's pricing. Not at today's pricing with how new it is. Not relative to the 151 loose packs I can buy. Not relative to the Mega Evolution allocation I could buy. If I went broke buying Destined Rivals at $250, sure, I made 80% on my money, riding it up to $440. But if I had to turn down my Mega Evolution allocation at $100 a box, how would that have worked for me? Don't go broke on good deals, and I wouldn't call Destined Rivals at $240 a good deal, $250 a good deal, but it panned out to work out well. And then miss out on great deals. Like, I have looming great deals around the corner every 2-3 months due to my wholesale allocation, due to my 11-year distributor relationships. So the bullet point that I made, all or nothing, it doesn't have to be. You can be patient. You can nibble here and there as opportunities arise. And yeah, that's just something I wanted to talk about. Another bullet point that I had quick before I go back to the chat, Card Party. I kind of talked about it, why we're moving Pokeflips to next week. But Card Party, I will be there. I am leaving for Card Party tomorrow evening. My wife and kids are going to school all day. And then immediately we're taking them from school. My wife is picking me and the dog up at home. We're running the kids and the dog to my parents. And then we're on to the airport. And we have like a 30-minute window to get there. 30 minutes before boarding time starts. So hopefully everything goes smoothly and we make our flight. But we won't be at Seattle until like midnight or something. So we're gonna be pretty late there. Thursday, we're going hanging out with some people a little ways out of Seattle. But I will be around probably Friday evening and then Saturday. I think all day Saturday we're gonna do Card Party. I think Thursday, Friday, we're gonna have like our Washington, Seattle excursions, and then it's gonna be Saturday all day. I think maybe it'll be all day Friday, But I think Friday is only like a part day for Card Party. But in any case, if you're at Card Party, I'm not vending. I'm not going to be there the whole weekend. I'm not going to show my face at all Sunday probably because I think we leave relatively. I think we leave very early. I think I'm like leaving at like 6 a.m. or something. Way too early. But anyways, if you're there, come say hi. I'll try to post on Instagram the day that I'm going to Card Party. I'll try to say like, hey guys, I'm going to be at Card Party all day. I'll probably check out MetaZoo booth. I'll probably check out the eBay Live booth. I think Nick has an event going on with eBay Live. I'll actually be Saturday is the year anniversary of us being on Fanatics. So I should have put that in my description. But if you didn't watch my video on Monday, I'll do stories about it. I'll do a reel about it, a short about it later this week. But this week we will be giving away approximately $5,000 worth of items. I'm not big on like giveaways to build and fuel growing the live streaming platform. We have not used them very much throughout the 12 months, the year that we've been on there this Saturday. But we had a really good year. The Pokemon market had a really good year. Fanatics Live platform is doing really well. Instant rips are awesome. So we're going to be selling, hopefully, 6 figures of stuff that night, Saturday night. We're going to give away a Mega Evolutions booster box in each stream. Ponga will give one away. PK will give one away. Box topper variants with the nice Bulbasaur in there. And we're going to give away $100 codes, $200 codes just all night. Fanatics credits that you can use on Instant Rips. You can use on Mega Evolutions. You can use on whatever you want. Prismatic Evolution sealed product. Now that it's coming down. A lot of people said it wasn't going to go down below 10. Never going to go below this, that. It's getting down there. It's not MSRP by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a lot closer than it was back when I was buying it for $11 a pack, when it was $14 a pack. Let me see what Prismatic Evolutions booster packs are. But that's going on Saturday. I'm gonna be in Seattle, Washington at Card Party. PK and Ponga will be holding down the fort on the live streams. So looks like low list on TCG Player is like $850. $850 is like the lowest real listing shipped. Yeah, there's Korean ones for like $7. I hate how TCG Player allows that. But yeah, so Prismatic Evolutions is down to $850. I'm having people sell to me at like 7 and under 7. So it's getting down there. I think I have some other notes that I want to get into if they end up coming up. But that is everything that I had to cover. I'm sure questions will lead us into the other things. Quickly addressing the title. Pokemon needs to print more. Look at the thumbnail. Let me quickly show the TCG players that I have pulled up. Like, over a very long term, I'm not coming at it from the angle of think of the children, this, that, the other thing. I'm coming at it from the angle of like, I genuinely don't think Pokemon wants this to be the case. This set is days old. This set is a few months old. And we're not talking MSRP. We're talking double MSRP for a set at launch. We're talking double and then some MSRP for a set that's 4 months old. 4 months old today. I don't think it's desired by Pokemon. I don't think it's entirely healthy. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's all by design. I have a hard time believing that Pokemon genuinely wants this to happen this way. I think what will happen in the coming... maybe Mega Evolution. Here's a little bit of Dan theory on what I think will happen, how we'll return to MSRP. So MSRP is 164 whatever. I truly think maybe Mega Evolution will be a small mini era, a la Heart Gold Soul Silver. Heart Gold Soul Silver was 4 sets: base set, Undaunted, Triumphant, and Unleashed. I don't think I did those in order, but those are the 4. And then you capped it off with Call of Legends. And it was like a 4 to 5 set little mini block before Black and White came out. I could see something like that, and I want Pokemon to do this. I think they should be the beneficiary of more money going into their pockets. Not that they aren't. They're doing well, don't worry. But I think they'll raise MSRP again. I think $5 a pack is a reasonable thing to go to. 170, what would it be? It would be 179.64, right? If you did 179.65 maybe, whatever, it'd be $4.99 a pack times 36. And then an ETB would be $4.99 a pack times 9. It would be well, we might already be over that with the promo and all that anyways, but I think they will, and I think they should increase MSRP slightly after about a year from now. That would be if they did 4 sets. We do about 4 or 5 a year. So that would happen around a year from now. And I think in the meantime, I think a lot more prismatics coming. I think they're going to give up on 151. I think they're going to give up on SV1 through SV6, SV7, SV8 maybe. Surging Sparks, I talked about it before. There was a day, there was a day or an hour or a minute where you could have bought it on release for like MSRP. Not for a long time, but for a little bit of time. Pre-order for months, you could buy it sub MSRP. So I truly think the printers will go towards Prismatic Evolution onward. Pokey made a video earlier, and he had a lot of good takes in that video. Go watch that video if you didn't watch it yet. But he talked about all these like MSRP, everyone saying that, but then they're holding product behind them, the hypocrisy of that, whatever you want to call it. I agree with a lot of his takes on that whole weird scenario. By no means have I ever been that. Like, I'm saying I think it will go under MSRP, but I'm not like piling it. I have a lot of some of it for the live streams. I talk about like exactly what I have, exactly how many packs I have, and I tell you how many cases are on the pallet, and I hold some small amount because I know that I don't know what it's gonna do. I know that it could go to 1,000. Destin could go to 1,000 a box without ever dropping between here and there. It could be 1,000 a box in a year, 2 years, and it could never sniff MSRP. I could be wrong on my prediction that it's likely, more likely. I'm not guaranteeing, but I think it's more likely, significantly more likely than not, that it goes sub MSRP, as I've been saying over and over and over again the past several months. But anyways, I think that covers. I think that covers everything that I wanted to say. But yeah, Pokemon. I think Pokemon will get this under control. 30th anniversary. It could happen during the 30th. People think like anniversaries are just guaranteed to be rocket emojis. When people say that anniversaries are always super strong, when I hear someone say that, it's like, I know you weren't around last time. The Mythical Mew collection, Generations, 25th anniversary that was. That was hot. That was hard to find. That was scalped, that was stonked, all that stuff. Mythical Jirachi, Mythical Genesect, Mythical Volcanion, Mythical whatever all the different mythicals are that came out in the Mythical Pin collections. Widely available. They were widely available for a long time. Shining Legends, a lot of that product heavily discounted months after release. Okay, I'll give people that like in this environment, 30th anniversary, the initial sets will probably be bonkers. They'll probably be crazy. Right now, Mega Evolutions, all this, Phantasmal Flames. It's going to be crazy for a while. It's been crazy for a long while. But I don't think this is just the new normal forever. Again, as I said last week, I don't think my allocation is just worth a guaranteed $100,000 every year. Because as of today, it's worth that. As of today, I could just insta-sell everything. That was 20th, sorry. CF, thank you. So yeah, that's how long I've been around. I can't remember the 20th from the 25th. I know I was there, but I can't even distinguish the two. My memory's that bad, and I've been here that long. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, Generations was 20th, Celebrations was 25th. Celebrations, similarly, it was very hype and expensive and exciting, and when it came out, and then it became more available. Not ever as crazy available as Generations was, I don't believe. But yeah, let me actually get to the chat. I think I've built up such a big backlog. 20 minutes I've been yapping, so I've built up a big enough backlog that I should be good to go. Dan, in your professional opinion, who is cuter, PK or Ponga, and why? In my professional opinion, I have such professional expertise that I am smart enough to not answer that question. I plead the fifth on that question. First question, Snipe, yes or yes? I actually had a call. I had a Zoom call with Mr. Rick Probstein himself. I've sold 6 figures of product on Probstein this year through consignment. 95% payout above $1,000. I've been talking about it all year. I've not had an affiliate link, but I think in the future I will have an affiliate link for Snipe. It's going to be Rick Probstein's new platform off eBay. He is doing a clean break from eBay. Late October, I forget the exact date, but late October, he's doing a clean break from eBay. And I'm going to send a little bit to sell there. I'm going to look to buy there in case stuff goes super cheap. I'm going to be ready to scoop. I've heard a lot of people speculating that everything will go super cheap. If everything's going super cheap, I'll feast for one day, and then word will get out that like, oh my God, Dan, like Destined Rivals cases were going for MSRP. Dan was getting $1,000 Destined Rivals cases. That'll last for one day, and then people will swarm, and then the products will go close to MSRP. If people are are bold enough to continue sending on the consenting side. If someone gets a 50% market beating on snipe on the first day, week, month, they will not send much, and buyers will be there ready to gobble stuff up. Prices will go higher. But if no one's consigning, like, it'll just die, right? I'm optimistic on things. I'm optimistic that snipe will, at least the first few months. I think the first few months it'll be very interesting. I think it'll do fine, but will it get the uptake? I hope it does. He's going to do 5% fees above 1,000. 3% fees above 1,000 to start. 5% fees below 1,000. Naturally, that's like a teaser thing. Get people in, get the platform rolling, and then it's going to go up. It's going to go up higher, somewhere lower than eBay, but higher than 3%, 5%. Nice to see you in here, 4-star TCG. Where'd he go? I just saw his comment somewhere. There it is. Real ones remember when Evolutions was ridiculed and overprinted and boring. Ridiculed as overprinted and boring. Absolutely. Like, we're booming now. So all that fades away. People don't have price memory. People don't have memory of having wholesale allocation, wholesale distribution. Allocation never even used to be a thing. It's like, hey, Dan, how much do you want? Hey, Dan, how much do you want? Dan, how many of these boxes do you want to buy for $82.50 that P Football Pete is selling for $84.99, $89.99, $79.99 on eBay? How many do you want to buy for a price that you can't get out of making money? I had to invest. Back in the day, I had to buy 2 cases, 4 cases, 6 cases of every set. I had to set them back because I couldn't sell them. I'd lose money if I sold them. I was mass ripping for singles. I was selling play sets of trainers on eBay. I was doing all different kinds of things. But yeah, let me scroll back up and continue on. Nice to see you in here too, Ethan. Do you think Phantasmal Flames will be under $10 a pack this year? It's getting waived like Mega Evolutions did. Mega Evolutions is a solid set. I think Mega Evolutions today is slightly under $10 a pack. I think Phantasmal Flames will be under $10 a pack for some amount of time. That might be a day. That might be a few hours. I think you can pre-order Phantasmal Flames right now. Let me look up Phantasmal. Actually, I was opening eBay, but I have TCG Player open, so let me check that. Phantasmal Flames booster box. Phantasmal Flames you can pre-order right now for $334. I'm not advocating you do that, but like today, as long as you buy from someone trusted who's not going to cancel you, yada yada yada, do your due diligence and make sure you're buying from someone who's not going to cancel you. But like as of right now, you can pre-order for sub $360 a box. I think that will be the case at release. Maybe it only lasts a day or two, but yes, I think there will be some window. I'm not going to be significantly adding Phantasmal Flames for investment, for long-term speculation at this price. I'm going to put 4. I'm going to put 4 cases on the pallet, as I did with Destined. Journey, I put 8 because of the Enhanced. I didn't know if Enhanced was the thing. I think Mega Evolution, I think I'm going to do 4 of the box topper and 4 of the non-box topper. So I might do 8 with Mega Evolution as well because they have the variants. I'm not a variant guy. I hate variants as a collector, as a business, as an investor, as everything. Yeah, let me scroll back up and continue on. 151, go to Moon soon. I mean, it's leaving the atmosphere. Let me pull up 151. I could go back if I had the time, if I cared to do it, if I wanted to edit. I could go back and I could find a lot of good clips about like one day we're gonna wake up and 151 is gonna be 15, 20 bucks a pack. We woke up. 151 is now 17 bucks a pack in the buy box. Scrolling down through a page of garbage. Second page you have to go to get real packs. That's Japanese there, so that's not real either. This is the first real pack. 17 bucks a pack on TCG Player. 17 bucks a pack. We woke up. Where did the time go? I on net added nearly 10,000 packs of 151 between May and July. And I maybe I didn't quite meet the performance of Destined Rivals, but I think, as I said at the time, simultaneously, my downside was better and my upside was better, in my opinion. Like, I think buying $9 packs at the time, I think those $9 packs will 10x. I do think 151 will be $90 a pack someday. What day? I don't know. But at the time, I was buying 151 for $9. I could have bought Destin for like 220, 230 maybe. I think 151 packs will be 90 before Destin Rivals booster boxes are 2300, like a 10x, like Evolving Skies is right now. I could be wrong though. As always, this is not gospel. This is not a sermon. This is a documentary of one guy who cannot pronounce documentary, and is making his best guesses and placing his bets on what he thinks the hobby's gonna do. Oh, what is that username? Hello, yes, this is live, J-Cup. This is live. Son of a Mewtwo, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Son of a Mewtwo. Yes, indeed. How's it going, Jay York? Thumbnail Dan needs to blink twice if everything is okay. Good mugshot meme pick. Nick's fighting off the $14 people are throwing at him for mega packs. Is Nick charging $14 a pack for mega evolutions? There's no way. They can't be that high, can it? Brad, I don't think that's true. Percentages. I mean, I don't think that's true at all, right? You were right about 151, but you were more wrong about Destin Rivals. I was easily buying 151 from botters and scalpers for 80% when I would have had to pay 90+% to get Destin Rivals cases. So yes, I could have had a similar 80% increase, but I would have had a harder time getting as much money's worth. I think. Maybe I wouldn't have. If I were as aggressively buying what Destin Rivals as I was buying 151, maybe I would have gotten $50,000 to $100,000 quite as easily. But as I said, I thought it was a lot better play. I thought it was a lot better bet because the downside was significantly better, and that's something that I care about. I don't want to lose 50% of my money. And as of today, as of right now, I have thousands of packs of Prismatic on the books that I'm down $3-4 a pack on. I have maybe not thousands, $3-4 a pack. I have thousands that I'm down $1 or $2 a pack. But I need to have it in stock for the live streams. I refuse to be out of stock on such a hype new set. I'm struggling right now with Mega. I got my I got my allocation turned into 2 waves, and then some ETBs came late, so I got wave 1A, 1B, and 2 that doesn't come for a few weeks. But Mega Evolution, I'm like PK is running on fumes. PK is running on fumes trying to keep Mega Evolution in stock. It is flying. It is selling well, and I'm paying $7.25 a pack on it right now. Let me actually, I didn't update it, but I'm gonna update it right now while I'm thinking about it. Let me update this before I put it on screen. I'm gonna show you my hot buy list. If you are interested, I go to Card Party tomorrow. But what I do is, if you want to sell me packs, feel free not to as well. Never hurts my feeling if someone doesn't want to sell to me. If you want to sell to me, I will have you ship it to PK or to Ponga. Put signature on the shipment, and it will be fully insured inbound shipping. I will pay $10 a pack for Lost Origin, $25 a pack for Evolving Skies, and $7.25 a pack for Mega Evolution. I will buy thousands of packs at those prices. I buy every pack from XY base to current. My full list is in the description on my buy list on my website. So I'm always buying everything. But those are the 3 sets that I'm paying 80% plus market price on. JBTCG says, "What's up? Which set list do you prefer, MEO1 or Destin Rivals?" I'm very bad at ranking like what's my favorite this, favorite that. I think they're both solid sets. I know some of the bigger tubers. I think like PokePlumber said that he might like Mega Evolution more than Destin Rivals. Actually, I think Alex actually. I think Nostalgianomics on Monday with Eli. I think he said Mega Evolution might be right up there, a little bit ahead of Destin Rivals. I think they're both really solid. I think they're in the same vicinity. I'm a little bit biased towards Mega Evolution in some ways because like I like Lucario. I've liked him a decent bit since like Furious Fist. Furious Fist was the most recent set when I got in. Like Phantom Forces was releasing as I came in, so Furious Fist was also there too, right before it. I enjoyed him playing him in Pokemon Duel back in the day. I think he's a cool Pokemon in general. He's my son's favorite too, so I'm biased towards Lucario. But yeah, Mega Evolution is a fun set, really cool set. It's expensive though. I like opening packs when sets come out with my family, and we opened 1 booster box. We split 1 booster box. Back in the day, we used to open a booster box or half a booster box each. I can't justify it. I was just having this conversation with somebody today on the phone. It's like, for me to open with my family one booster box each, like we could go on a week-long vacation for the cost of opening a booster box each. And my kids, like, if they ever pull a Moonbreon, if they ever pull like a big heater, I'll probably grade it for them. I'll probably like buy it off them for full market price or whatever if they wanted to keep it. They've never pulled anything that crazy, but they pull $50 cards. They pull $30 cards. They put them in their binder. They slide them across the floor. They put them on the floor. The dog runs circles on them. Like, my kids are working on the attrition for the Pokemon hobby. So, yeah, instead of opening a booster box each, it's like I'd rather just spend that money on experiences or something. But yeah, continuing on. How's it going, Garen? How's it going, Fresh Tats? First question I have is, I'm not entirely sure how booster box stock work, but like for Destined Rivals, will we have many restocks over its print cycle, or will it mainly restock other products? I don't know. Historically speaking, it's been consistently inconsistent, just like everything in the hobby, just like our favorite grading card companies. There were seasons, there were times where like all the reprints were done through all the reprints were done through booster boxes years ago. And then there was a stretch where all the reprints were done primarily through like ETBs. And now it's like Sea and Sky collections. It's Blooming Waters collections. They're doing these like 16-pack abominations that you can't ship. Sorry, Earth. We don't know. Packs will, one thing I'm confident in, Destined Rivals will get a lot more packs. Prismatic will get a lot more packs. Mega will get a lot more packs printed. But how will they configure them? I don't know. Do we have mods in chat? I just got rid of somebody. But yeah, if there's any wrenches in chat, someone help us out. We apparently got too hot in the algorithm, and I just had to take down that spam. I think I saw a couple wrenches in here. Maybe not. I might have to throw some people some. I see Peek That Chew right there. But anyways, let me continue on. But yeah, a lot of people confidently say like they're done printing booster boxes. They don't print those anymore. I remember, again, my memory's too bad to tell you when, but I remember when people were confidently like ETBs are the way to go. 3-pack blisters are the way to go. They never reprint them. This, that, the other thing. We don't know what they're gonna print, what they're gonna reprint. They will reprint packs. I as close as I can to guaranteeing it. More Destined Rivals will come, but it might not be booster boxes. And with like Prismatic, they're reprinting ETBs, but not ETB cases. So ETBs are bounced back up to like 140 or whatever after going sub 100, but ETB cases are even higher because like those aren't being reprinted, or they haven't been. That's not to say they couldn't be. Crown Zenith ETBs are like what, $200 an ETB plus right now. But for the longest time, they were printed, they were available. Rudy was selling them for $35 an ETB or whatever it was. You could buy them in mass for $35 to $40 an ETB or less for a long time. So yeah, it's appreciate you, Peek That Chew. I see Peek That Chew wielding the ban hammer as well. I don't know what's going on, but the bots are in today. No, you're fine, Peek That Chew. If you're busy, I can throw a wrench at someone else. I will work on it from my end too. I can see the live chat, but it's a little bit lated. It's a little bit delayed. Card party. I will be there. Tom will be there as well. Jacob DeLambo says never coming down. He's gonna have a fleet of Lambos because it will never come down. 97% on sealed over 1,000. Ultimate cheat code. So yeah, this new website by Probstein. Again, like, this is not a sponsored segment. I am not affiliated, but he mentioned in my Zoom call with him earlier this week, there will be an affiliate program. I don't know if I'll be approved, but like I will try to be in the affiliate program for Snipe. I will try to sell on Snipe. Same thing I do with eBay. Like, I sell on eBay. I have an affiliate link below. I sell on Fanatics Live. I have an affiliate link below. I never tell people what to buy, but it's like, if you're going to buy there and you want to support the channel for no cost to you, if you're buying there anyways, like, click the link below. I'm going to do the same thing with Snipe once it comes out. I'm going to say like, hey, you want to buy there, register, sign up through my link below, place your bids. Maybe you can buy sealed. Maybe I'm netting 97% above 1,000, but I'm netting 97% of 50% of market. So what would that be? That would be 48.5%. Maybe I'm netting 48.5% of market due to my 3% fees only functionally being 1.5% fees because I'm getting 50% of market as a baseline. Let's see. Destined packs will get the closest. Booster boxes ain't coming down from the sky. I'm entirely open. I'm open to being wrong, flat outright wrong, and losing my bet to retro. I'm open to prismatic never going below $7 a pack. I'm open to Destin never going below $7 a pack. But I think it will. I would not I'm not guaranteeing it will. I strongly think it will, but it wouldn't be the most surprising thing to happen in the world if it didn't. And I know it's all like probabilistic thinking. I don't like ever go all in. There are people that say, I guarantee this is going to do this. I guarantee this pack is going to double. I guarantee this box is going to triple. If you're that confident, like, go all in. If I was ever half as confident as some people are, I would go all in left and right on all different kinds of things. But I attribute 90% chance, 10% chance. Like, that's the way to think. That's the way that you have to think. Because thinking in absolutes like that, making those bets like that, eventually they will catch up with you. Eventually, there are survivorship bias. There are like the people who get lucky many, many times in a row, and their wealth runs faster than their eventual reversion to the mean will catch up with them, if that makes sense. But I'm never that confident. I'm never placing bets that big. But yeah, I think the most likely scenario at this point, I think boxes. I still think boxes will get close to MSRP. But if you tell me a year from now boxes are 200 and packs are 455, whatever MSRP is, that would be reasonable to me. That would not be that surprising. Josh Perez says, Dan, obviously it's not impossible, but come on, we know that there's no way Destin Rivals ever hit its MSRP. I'm not on your side on this one. I strongly disagree. I think it is a strong likelihood. I think it's the most probable outcome that packs go MSRP. I could be wrong, but like every set has, that doesn't mean that the trend can't break. That doesn't mean that Prismatic, that Destined, that Journey, and Journey might be the first one to falter. But like, just because it's never happened doesn't mean it can't happen. But just because it's 4 months later and the boxes are double plus MSRP doesn't mean they still can't come down. 2 years is a long time. Most people, Josh Perez, I don't know how long. If you're comfortable, Josh Perez, how long have you been here? Most people confidently saying this have not been here 2 years. They've never seen a 2-year cycle on any set. Like that's my whole point. Most people confidently saying this. And some people have been here for 10 years. Some people have been here longer than me. I mentioned that in a recent video or a recent live stream. But it's all percentages. And I'm open to being wrong. I'm open to the 10%, 5% chance hitting. Looking forward to the preacher's sermon with whatever happens with Destin Rivals in May 2027. Thoughts on Probstein leaving eBay? I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I'm going to try Snipe. I'm going to register an account. I'm going to send some stuff to sell on Snipe for 97% payout above $1,000. I'm going to try to buy too. I might be able to buy Destin Rivals cases for 80% and then sell them on Instagram, sell them on eBay, sell them wherever, rip them for the live stream. We'll see what happens. What's my favorite binder and sleeve combo? This might blow your mind. Crap, I don't have it handy. I use Vault X binders without sleeves. Oh, I use all different kinds of binders, but like the latest thing that I've been bindering is my Metazoo sets. So Metazoo, for those of you who don't know, it was a TCG years ago. It went bankrupt. It came back out. I bought it with some friends. I have no say over like the development, over the printing, over the design, no knowledge of any of the insider stuff. But I own the IP that is licensed to GameCube Labs that prints it. But the most recent sets that I'm putting in binders, let me actually grab it. I see it right over there. So let me just go to. Let's just look at the price of Destined Rivals while I go quickly grab my We're going to look at the price of Destined Rivals while I grab my binder. But this is probably blasphemy for a lot of people. Let me get my face cam back. This is probably blasphemy for a lot of people. But, like, this is back in the day, back in 99, I used to have a 3-ring binder with the Ultra Pro pages. But I like the side loading a lot better. But I have the nice zipper binder, so I did improve to the zipper binder. But I put them in there raw, no sleeves. I don't like sleeves in my binders. I don't like the extra layer of obfuscation. I don't have a complete binder of torrential ties right now, but these are all just in here raw, the same way that I would have done my binder, the same way that my childhood binder currently is. I don't care if it's an ultra rare, I don't care if it's an alt art, whatever it is in here. It is in here raw. That's like a few $100 card, and it's just in there raw. I think that's the best way for me to appreciate the cards. So, Vault X, I'm a fan of, and then I don't have an affiliate link or anything for those. Vault X, and then just no sleeves. No sleeves is the way to go. This Pokemon hype definitely will not last for the whole next 2 years. So many people who have joined will leave, but overall, definitely bullish long term. Yeah, I'm very bullish long term. I'm investing by the pallet. But you know what? One thing that's funny, I had this conversation with somebody. I had a conversation with somebody this month who's been here for 10 years, who's been here for a long time. And a year ago, a year and a half ago, when every set from SV1 to SV5 was available under 100, you know what they weren't doing? They weren't calling me and saying, hey, Dan, what should I put 10 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand into? And you know what they're doing today? They're talking to me today about potentially putting 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand. This is more than one person, by the way. Into Destined Rivals, into Prismatic, sub 1-year-old sets. When they're this high, and they might go higher, that might make money. I did not tell them to not do it. I didn't tell them to do it. I didn't tell them to not do it. But like, where were you a year ago? You were in the hobby a year and a half ago. In May of 2024, every box was available under $100. And do you know what I did? I started investing by the pallet. I started filling a pallet with products that were too cheap. And you know what I'm doing now? I'm doing it here and there strategically with 151 loose packs, with Crown Zenith loose packs, with packs that feel too cheap relative to everything else. You know what I'm not doing it with largely? Yes, 4 cases of Destined. Yes, 8 cases of Journey, and so on. But I'm not doing it with 50 grand of Destined. I'm not doing it with 50 grand of Prismatic. I added a $9,500 case of Evolving Skies a couple months ago. That panned out well. And at the same time that I bought that Evolving Skies case for $9,500, there were people that were putting $9,500 into Destined, into Journey, into things like that. And it's like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on that stuff. It might never come back around. I'll only have my 4 or 8 cases. But like, I think I'm gonna do it. If Destined Rivals runs away from me, whatever I buy in place of Destined Rivals, I will do fine on. I'm quite confident. That's what I always come back to. I'm gonna make sure I don't miss any questions, but I am jumping around a little bit, trying to stay on topic. I had so many deleted messages. Thank you, Peak. Sorry, where all those messages got deleted, I'm like thrown off. There we go. I got back to where I was. Knowing the Mega is being split into waves, doesn't it make sense that Mega will ride high until that wave 2 is released? My distros told me like 3 weeks later. My distros told me like 3 weeks later for wave 2. So, is that going to actually be 3 weeks later? I don't know. Josh Perez says the I'm going to wait crowd never wins. The I'm going to wait crowd is winning right now if they're buying. Like me, I'm buying loose packs of Prismatic. Like, my long-term goal for let's look at Prismatic alone. So we've sold year to date, we've sold 20,000 packs of Prismatic. I need to have Prismatic in stock because we sell it every day on the streams. I had too much too soon. When Prismatic was 11 a pack, I had like 6,000, 7,000 packs. I have like 6,000, 7,000 packs today. So I've rode it down a little bit. I've rode Prismatic down a little bit. But you know what my goal is for Prismatic? My goal is to have 25,000 packs. If I didn't wait, I would have bought 25,000 packs of Prismatic at 11 a pack. And I heard people saying, this will not go below 10 bucks a pack. It's too good. God pack, this, that, the other thing. And I'm glad I waited. I'm doing right now. I'm doing well right now, having waited on buying Prismatic in mass. And as it goes down, each dollar it goes down, I'll add a couple thousand more packs. And if and when it gets to 5, like everyone says this, but the thing is, I will do it. Most won't do it. When Crown was $4 a pack, $5 a pack, there were some people like myself buying 10, 15,000 packs of it. Or whatever your equivalent is. I know not everyone has the capital to buy 10, 15,000 packs of a $5 set. But there are a lot of people that would say that, oh, if Prismatic does this, if Prismatic goes down to $60, $70 ETBs, a lot of people buying them for 100 will panic dump them, especially if the stock market's down 30%, especially if crypto's down 30%. People just talk. Talk is cheap. One thing that I said, a la Brian's video earlier today, talking out your ass on YouTube, talking out your ass is plus EV. As a YouTuber in a YouTube comment section, because you have nothing to lose. It's like 6 months later, if it ages poorly, a lot of people just delete the videos. I've never deleted a video, and I never intend to. I'm sticking my neck out there on certain calls. Some will be right, some will be wrong. I never really say like firm things. It's always probabilistic, so I can't ever be wholly incorrect or correct. But a lot of people will just make these bold claims. Years ago, there are people still on YouTube today with tons of subscribers that guaranteed that Vivid wouldn't go below 200, that guaranteed that Battle Styles wouldn't go below MSRP when it was 150 a box. It's crazy. It doesn't matter. I'm not even talking just in Pokemon. Like in today's world, today's day and age, society, division, stir up emotion, get clicks. That is the winning formula. That is plus EV for content creation. And Earn says talking out your ass and from a car is mega plus EV. That's hilarious. But yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy what this world has come to. All the I say this a lot, but like all the information we have at our fingertips, all the power we wield, and we use it to just go online and complain about our lives. And yeah, people are just nuts. People are wild. I'm putting out there though. I'm putting out there what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and I know I'm not doing the most optimal thing. I know I'm not doing the most suboptimal thing either. The results speak for themselves. I'm doing quite well. 4 years full time in Pokemon. I'm doing quite well. 11 years in Pokemon. I'm still gonna be wrong about Surging Sparks and Destined Rivals hitting out MSRP. I might be. I'm open to that. I'm fine with that. The things I'm buying instead will do really well. I promise. If Destined never goes under MSRP, the 151 I bought in its place will be doing fine. If Prismatic never goes under MSRP, I don't have 0 of it. I have 6 cases of ETBs in my garage because I know that it might not come down. I have 7,000 packs between Spat and Skya and Ponga and PK and myself. I have 6,000 or 7,000 packs. So if Prismatic bottoms out at $6 a pack, not quite MSRP, I'll try to increase that 7,000 to 10,000 or 12,000. If Prismatic goes down to $4 a pack, like I was buying 151, I was buying 151 a year and a half ago for $4 a pack. You could buy the 151 UPCs for $80 at Costco. I was buying them for $4 a pack, 151 packs. If Prismatic gets there, which it can, people think it can't, but I promise you it can. 151 was, Crown Zenith was, both better sets than Prismatic, in my opinion. That's very subjective. But if and when Prismatic goes to 5 or 4 a pack, I actually have the capital. I actually have the conviction to pile 20,000 packs, 25,000 packs. And I have the outlets. I know how to sell. I'm selling every day. 20,000 packs, it sounds like a lot. I've sold that this year. Year to date, we've sold 20,000 packs. Not me personally. I didn't open them myself. Shout out PK. Shout out Ponga. Shout out Skya. Shout out Spat. But I've got it under control. Peak, you say that. I'm pushing back on you, Peak. No, you're not. 30% downturn in the, like, for prismatic to hit $4 a pack, it might take a 30% downturn. It might take 35% downturn recession in the S&P 500. You might lose your job. Like, people just say things. People just, and it's easy. It's very easy to just say things. It's very easy to have no, like, weight behind it. Talk is cheap, all that stuff. But it is what it is. It is what it is. That's I come into this knowing that I put myself out there, open for criticism, open for ridicule if I get something horribly wrong, right? And if and when I'm right on things, one, with Destined Rivals, if and when I'm right, I probably will do the I told you so. I will have to I told you so there. But I'll have to because the wife is taking 50% when the packages arrive. and that's the thing. Like, some of these people that are so bullish, it's like, quit your job. Quit your job, mortgage your house, like, sell your plasma, go all in. If I had half the conviction of some of these people, I would be so much more in than I am right now. And I'm in deep. Like, it's I don't know, it's crazy. But talk is cheap. Talking out your ass in this society, in this environment, is very just plus EV. So division, get clicks, and make money. Division incites emotion. You get people, like, anything, and I do it a little bit. I do it with my thumbnails a little bit, because you have to. I talk, like, we're cooked. We're cooked, I said in my title, in my thumbnail. And I put something about Pokemon needs to print more. Why did I make the title Pokemon needs to print more? I'm appealing to the crybaby Timmies that want MSRP, and then there's all the people out there that's telling them, hey guys, MSRP is coming. That's not me. So simultaneously, I say that I think MSRP will come, but I'm not telling everyone to wait. Don't buy anything. Hold the line. We're going to win this. Pokemon is going to destroy all these investors. No, I don't know that. I think that might happen. So, like, I'm hedging my bets. I'm on the fence, right? Probabilistic thinking. I know that I could be right, I could be wrong. So I have 4 cases, and I have a few thousand loose packs. And if and when it goes lower, I'll buy more. If and when it goes higher, like, I don't care. If Prismatic goes to 100 a pack next year, I don't think it will, but, oh, God pack, so it could. Who cares? Whatever. If Prismatic goes to 100 a pack, I'll buy it for 80 a pack, 90 a pack, and I'll sell it for 110 a pack. I don't care. Like, I genuinely don't care. I'll have 7,000 packs that go up a lot of money, and I'll be doing really well. I could have done better. I could have had 20,000 packs. Yes, always. I could be a Bitcoin billionaire too. I saw it when it was $2 a coin. I saw it when it was $8 a coin, that dropped to $2 a coin, that went up to 1,000, that went down to 200. Everyone could be a billionaire if we had the hindsight. Sorry, if we had the foresight, like, to match our hindsight, which is 100% 2020, right? Then we'd all be billionaires. I wouldn't play in Pokemon if I had perfect foresight. I would play in derivatives and options, and I would play in things that could turn my money from breakfast time $1,000 to close of market $100 million. You could do that in the span of a day, in the trillions of dollars market cap that is crypto, in the trillions of dollar market cap that is options, all those tradings, leverage, 10x, all that crazy stuff. 30 minutes. Hope you have TSA pre-check. I do. I will be getting the Syracuse airport 30 to 40 minutes before my plane boards, though. Boarding is like a 30-minute window, so an hour before it takes off, an hour before the doors closes. I should be fine. When's the next zoo video? Hopefully next Saturday. We open 10,000 packs of base set. We open 10,000 packs of torrential ties. I'm gonna do a video on what we pulled from 10,000 packs for each set. And maybe talk about EV a little bit, talk about why I ripped so many packs. Boxes are dark. Boxes for MetaZoo right now are dark. And the torrential tides especially, it's plus EV to open it. Liquidity is low, but liquidity is low on the sealed product too. That's why people are selling it for 60, 65 bucks a box. But let me continue on. Better long-term hold, PSA graded 8 to 10 vintage or 10 modern. Vintage is so broad. If vintage is base first, I'm going base first. If vintage is gold stars are high right now. It's all relative. So like I would say out of what you gave me, I would say 8 to 10 vintage, specifically base set first edition hollows. They haven't popped as much as many of them have. So I like those the most of what you gave me. If I fly to New York early next year, can I grace the Dan Cave and open product like Jake? I likely might be flying to New York early next year. So if you're flying to New York, like city, that's 4.5 hours away from me. Like let me know, absolutely. Maybe we can meet up somewhere in between. Maybe we can meet up. If you're flying into Syracuse, though, that's where I am. I'm 40 minutes from that. I can pick you up from Syracuse. I can take you to a local spot, buy you some barbecue, buy you a beer. Maybe I can make you some barbecue, have some IPAs at my house, go into the Dan Cave. Absolutely. Like, let me know. Let me know more particulars on that. Peek that shoe. Thoughts of Prostein leaving eBay. I covered that. I think you heard me cover that at this point. This comment's just so old. Do you think Pokemon will include booster boxes in Phase 2 of the next release? I think they might not, so they can print more ETB, special sets, and Phantasmal. Are you talking Wave 2 of Mega Evolution? I know they are, because I have Wave 2 allocation. It's coming in a few weeks for Mega Evolution booster boxes. Phantasmal Flame, as far as I understand, my distro told me, will be 2 waves. Wave 1 booster boxes, Wave 2 booster boxes, just like Mega Evolution is. So, yeah. Hey, Dan, without commenting on your personal distro relationship, is it fair to say nothing will change? Nothing will change given speculated distro scalping of product. Danny Phantom's comments on this really annoyed me. I have, like, Danny Phantom has way better connections than me. He has way more distros than I do. That blew my mind. When Danny Phantom made the comment along the lines of, like, distro might be selling to, Pokemon might be selling to distro higher than they historically have. I don't believe it to be true. He said he had good information on it. If that's true, that's crazy. Why would they still sell to Walmart, though? Why would they still sell to Target? Why would they still sell to Costco, Sam's? Why would they still sell through Pokemon Center? If they're getting the same percentage in those places, Pokemon Center is 100% MSRP, to be fair. But I just don't believe it. I don't think it's a thing. If it is a thing, though, that is massive. If that's a thing, I think it's significantly more likely that Destin never comes under MSRP. But that's a big if. We don't know. What are you most fearful and excited about in the Pokemon hobby going into 2026? I'm excited about all of it. I'm excited about growing my business. I'm excited about seeing the sets that come out. Artists will art. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. Let me turn my desktop sound on so people can hear that beautiful lawnmower. But appreciate you, MJ Silver. Let me scroll down and take that quick, and then I will finish this question. Giovanni's Charisma PSA 10 undervalued in English? Question mark. Giovanni's Charisma in 10. I have no idea what that card is worth. Let me scroll back up and make sure I'm ready to take my other question. But yeah, Giovanni's Charisma PSA 10. Appreciate the super chat, MJ Silver. I would have gotten to it for free. $75 PSA 10. Or are you talking? I don't know which one you're talking about. There's 2 of them. Anyways, I would say appropriately valued. I long cardboard, short plastic is what I always say. I do not speculate in slabs. I have the ability to. I have the capital to, but I choose not to because I like sealed way better. So like I think it's appropriately valued at best. I would not say undervalued about like any slabs. I don't think relative to other ones maybe, but yeah, Giovanni's Charisma PSA 10 properly valued is what I'll say. Don't you owe Retrospects a rocket briefcase for losing a bet? I have 2 years. I have 2 years from Destin Rival's release date for it to go under MSRP per pack. What am I most excited about? Just the new artwork, the new sets, to see where they take everything. The new Pokemon that come out in the next year or so. Will we find another great Pokemon like Quaxley in the next generation? Remains to be seen. What am I most fearful about? I'm genuinely fearful for I think it's inevitable that this bubble boom, like speculative frenzy, whatever you want to call it, however you want to characterize it. I'm a little worried that people will get hurt. I'm worried that my net worth might take a multi 6-figure dive because I'm not selling the pallets, because I'm 100,000 deep in pack inventory. So I'm a little bit worried for like that. But I'm also excited about potentially doubling my net worth. Maybe we get another double before it drops 30 or 40%. If it doubles and then drops 30 or 40%, it's still way higher than it is today. So like that's fine by me. But the reality is, like, wherever it peaks, each individual item, each individual card, it won't all happen together at once. But wherever it peaks, like some people will buy that. Some people will buy with money they can't afford to lose. And that's what I try to talk about in this channel. I don't tell you not to buy or to buy, but like I say like I fill my buckets first. And I'm going to make a video in the coming weeks where I talk about my buckets. I'm going to talk about what they were when I was 20, what they were when I was 25, what I would be doing. Would I be maxing out a solo 401k if I was 20 right now with a $10,000, $15,000 net worth? Making what I'm making right now? Would I be maxing out my 401k when I was 25, when I was 30? Short answer, no. Long answer, watch. Why am I maxing out my Roth IRA, my solo 401k and traditional IRA? Why am I maxing those out today before I dabble in Pokemon further? I'll talk about that in a future video. I think it'll be a good video. MJ Silver paid $2 for Dan to waffle. I mean, the uninitiated of the channel. One, he could have paid $0 and I would have answered eventually for free. I always answer all of them. So that was a whiff there. And then two, it's me. That is like anyone that is initiated, anyone that's been here for some time, that is the known answer. So yeah, sorry or you're welcome, MJ Silver. Let's see. I just don't believe people will stay this interested for 2 years. Well, Jacob DeLambo, how could you not believe people will stay this interested for 2 years? I have it on good authority from most mainstream YouTubers that this is the new normal and every set's going to be above MSRP. And this is just how it's going to be forever. Like, they're taking the last 10 months and projecting it out 50 years. Like, 14 months ago, you could buy SV1 through SV5 in mass, by the pallet for sub $100 a box. You could have called up any distro. You could have called up any big store. Like, people would have loved to sell you by the pallet, people who had it. Like Paradox Rift, and these things were being sold through distro 12, 14, 16 months ago for $80 a box. So, like, people that are forecasting out 50 years from 10 months worth of experiences, like, what are we talking about? And look at this right now. Look at this. 14 months ago, you could have bought this in mass for $80 a box. 12 months ago, TCG Player doesn't go 14 months, but 10 months ago, it was 12 months ago, it was 104 a box, and 45 were selling a day. Now it's higher than that with more selling per day. Not every day, but like 90 sold that day. And do the math on that. Like, be careful, people. One thing that's kind of scary: comp culture. Line goes up, so that's the new price. 90 boxes sold for $400 a box. Like think about that. Do the math on that. 90 times 400, 36, add the zero, $36,000. I have that much room on one of my 3 or 4 credit cards. I didn't do that. TCG Player would have canceled my order if I did that, because they're a terrible website, and anytime I spend $1,000, it gets canceled, and I have to pay sales tax and blah blah blah. But one person could have done that. One person probably did do that. Well, not one, but like one person might have done 80% of that. And then it's just the new price now. And there's been a little bit of an exception on that, like Destined Rivals. Why do people do this? Like, people make the video, Destined Rivals is $500 now. Calm down a little bit. It might be $500 next week, but it's not quite there. It was there for a day. It was there for an hour. But like, it went in one day up to 500, 600, 700. People make all the videos. And then to some extent, like, somebody spent 50 items times, say, $500 a box. Somebody spent 25 grand to move the new floor on the box up 10%. So it's like, if they had 5 pallets to start with, that was very plus EV to do what they did. And people are doing that to some extent. It's not all of it. I'm not saying the whole market is manipulated, but people make it so easy for the market to be manipulated. All the YouTube channels that just show TCG Player charts every day, this, that, the other thing, and 20,000 views, 50,000, like, it's just crazy. And then people are like so mad about it. It's like, rabble, 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 MSRP, the whole Timmy thing. It's just crazy. It's all crazy. Get Dick's Hamburgers in Seattle. I will try to make a mental note of that. I'll try to remember that. What's your hypothesis on why collectors get away with strong call, like owning a grading company and an auction company? Oh, conflict, COI, conflict of interest. What is your hypothesis on why collectors gets away with strong conflict of interest, like owning a grading company and an auction company while benefiting from higher grades and sales? It's an unregulated market. There's probably crazier things that go on in other aspects, but it's what a good system they have going on. They, like, the market is set on the offers that they give you on your first to market cards sold through the PSA offers in the graded vault. They sell them in GameStop instant packs, whatever they call them, GameStop power packs. They charge you more when the grade is higher, and then they can offer you more, and they can sell it for 100% of market in the power packs. Buy it back for 90%, sell it for 100%, buy it back for 90%. It's wild. It's wild what they have going on. How much money would it take to get you to train to bench 225? I have no idea what I could bench. Probably a very, very embarrassingly low amount. I mean, I wouldn't be embarrassed by it. It would just be a low number. But back in college, back in college and high school, I remember benching some. I was on a few different varsity teams. I've never been a big like gym guy, but generally this is not an excuse. This is just me talking through the logistics of it. I think my build is very bad for benching. I think like long, lanky arms. I'm 6'4" 3/4, long, lanky arms. I don't think I have the build for it. I think most big like bench lifters, a lot shorter arms, a lot less distance to go. Anyways, it probably wouldn't take a ton of money because overall it would be a healthy endeavor, but it would take more than anyone would pay, surely. It would take more than anyone would pay, probably. But it would be like, this is good for me. Michael McElvey is a YouTuber that I watch and I listen to a decent bit. He just started a podcast, largely about the NFL, but about sports in general. Mike McElvey just started a podcast. He did on his channel, he did a video where in 100 days, as like a 30-something-year-old, I won't spoil the video, but he was like a collegiate athlete. He was a varsity athlete in high school, a collegiate athlete in his grad studies or whatever. And he tried to set like personal records in his 30s, having been an athletic 20-year-old. And it was a really interesting video series. So, Timmy, I think you might be interested in that series if you hadn't watched it. For me to replicate what he did, I mean, through a small extent, like I tried that with Air Alert. I tried dunking at Rusty's. I had no progress. Was I doing everything wrong? I don't know. I dropped 25 pounds and I added half an inch to my vertical. It was crazy to me. I did like 6 months worth of jump training programs over a year, and I added this much to my vertical. I don't like. Maybe I couldn't physically ever do 225. I don't know. Does Fanatics Collect take jumbo cards? If they're already graded, yes. Raw, no. Selling through you on Fanatics, can I transfer my vaulted cards to you instead of shipping to your vault? Yes. So, Andrew, if you have cards in your Fanatics vault, even if they're jumbos, so if you have jumbos already graded, you can send them to me. If you have booster packs already graded, you can send them to me. The CGC Fanatics, though, it has to be raw, and it has to be standard card size, and it's $7.50 a card, and then it's sold at these rates. So if you want to consign with me, DM me, email me, reply to my contact form on my website, and these are the following rates for selling already graded cards, and you can do a vault transfer. Like, you can vault transfer now or tonight, tomorrow morning, and I can have them live on Thursday in this week's if you want to. Why aren't MTG boxes following the Pokemon box boom? My Spider-Man collector boxes are tanking. Please buy them, chat. I don't know. More people need to say I don't know more often. A lot of times people will just talk out their ass because it's plus EV. I refuse to do that. I genuinely have no idea. I have some ideas why some things happen in Pokemon, but for the most part, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what's going on with Magic. What is the biggest flop of a big card sold on Fanatics Live? I imagine most cards don't sell for more than greater than 250, but what's the biggest flop dollar-wise and percent-wise? I don't track card by card. I don't know. There's probably been $500 cards that we sold for like half price. I remember we auctioned a Japanese heavy pack. I know it's not a card, so it's not the same. But we sold heavy Japanese guaranteed hollow packs for $900 a pack, and we sold a lot of them, several of them. We auctioned one time and got like $350 or something, like 60% less on the auction. So not gonna do that anymore. Hey Dan, could you explain a little bit about what the ideal end game of buying into MetaZoo looks like for you? What does the take profit look like for a partial owner? Thanks. So the way that we did it is we license MetaZoo to Game Incubator Labs, and they pay like a royalty. So there's two long-term end games. One, I just collect royalties for years or decades, and it hopefully ends up being like a good ROI on my initial investment, return on investment. The second would be like it becomes kind of a bigger thing, and it grows a little bit, and it gets healthy, it gets strong financials, and then it gets like bought somehow someday, and then it's just like number invested X amount of years, sell it later for a bigger number. Either one of those are like the two main paths out of it, right? It's not always all or nothing. It could be I sell part of my ownership, retain part of my ownership. As of today, I don't believe my ownership in the company is worth substantially more than I paid for it, if at all. I genuinely don't know. I'm not interested in pursuing that at this time. And royalty wise, I don't know what that number is going to be, if anything, for the first year. So yeah, we'll see. Any thoughts on PSA expanding into Europe? It's a logical step towards world domination, in my opinion. They expanded into Japan a couple years ago, so it makes sense to go for Europe. If Pokemon doesn't figure it out by next summer, they're in big trouble of losing fans. I don't think this is the case today, but if Pokemon stays too expensive for too long, how much is too expensive? I don't know. But if Pokemon stays too expensive for too long and they lose genuine consumers, but investors keep buying and trading back and forth to themselves, like people say has been happening since XY era, which clearly wasn't happening as much as they thought back then. But if this truly becomes all investors selling to investors, it gets dark. Pokemon would turn into Beanie Babies if it's just investors selling to investors. I know that's not the case, because like we're selling thousands of packs every week on the live streams, and look at the pops, and look at my video I made a few weeks ago, the Moonbryon, 15,000 pop. Extend that across how many packs would have had to be opened. So yeah, long term it's very bad if everyone's investing, but I'm confident today everyone's not investing. I hope we never get to a time where everyone is investing, because that is dark. I agree. Totally feels like a Heart Gold Soul Silver era with Mega Evolution, then next gen raise MSRP. I think and I hope that's what happens. I think that would be good. Any aspirations to bring Papa Ketchum back on the live? What about other family members? I've told my wife before, she has an open invitation. I'm not sure that she wants to come on ever. I don't know. I say that I'm generally pretty introverted, which I think to be true. My wife disagrees. But she's definitely significantly more introverted than me. I really enjoy. I like Jar Chomp. He had a recent. He's done multiple things with his wife on. Greeny's brought his wife on. Rusty's brought his wife on. I've seen several people like just engaging with the spouse of the hobbyist, and it's a cool angle. I can't think of many other people bringing their dads on. Java had his grandma on at one point, if I remember correctly. But I think that stuff's fun. Maybe someday I get my grandpa on. Maybe someday I get my mom or my sister or my wife on. I don't know. Maybe someday my kids are on. I feel weird about getting the kids on at their age. But who knows? I think it's significant. Again, I can't guarantee it because I don't control my dad coming on. If I asked my dad to come on, he'd probably come on in the next couple of months sometime. We'd probably figure out a time he'd do it. But I can't make him, right? The same way that I can't guarantee that Destin will stay above MSRP forever, I can't guarantee that it will go below MSRP because it's outside of my control. My dad is another human being, make his own choices outside of my control. I can't guarantee it, but I'm as confident as I can be that he will be on again for the next anniversary of the pallet, at a minimum. At a minimum, once a year to review the pallet situation. I think is appropriate at a minimum. I think it's inaccessible for Pokemon's TCG playing collecting for their most current products to be this expensive. It makes it difficult for it to grow and bring in new regular people. I'm back and forth on this one. Singles are accessible. Singles have always been expensive. Like, to me, singles 5 years ago were too expensive for me. To build these sets, for thousands of dollars for a master set, which I guess that's gotten worse in Sword, Shield, Scarlet, Violet. But to build these sets for thousands, like, it's always been expensive. If you want a cheaper hobby, there's a lot of them out there. You know that, like, trading card games are just inherently like a luxury, expensive as hell hobby. If you want a cheap hobby, like Settlers of Catan, I play with my wife. We play Race for the Galaxy. You buy a $20 box. It's a card game. It's fully a card-based game, but you buy pre-built decks, and you just, like, there's tons of replayability. We've played Race for the Galaxy 100+ hours. I mean, you can play poker, you can play chess, you can play games that cost $20, $5, $10 for thousands of hours. There are people that devote their lives to chess, which is a game that you can play with a $20 board for your entire life. So it, like, I know Alex got a lot of heat for this being taken out of context, but, like, Pokemon just inherently is expensive and maybe not for everybody. Like if things were really tight for me, if I was paycheck to paycheck, I wouldn't be trying to collect Pokemon cards. It is so expensive. It is just like every 4 months, no, 4 months, every 2 months, they're coming out with new shiny stuff, and it costs thousands of dollars to master set it all. And, like, the cheap price is $3 a pack for a few cents worth of cardboard. Like, what are we talking about? This stuff is expensive. So, like, I think it's always been tough. Twice as expensive is fairly arbitrary. MSRP is arbitrary. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I get it. I get it, but also to extent, like look at sports cards. Look at Magic collector boxes. Look, like, Pokemon, you can play for $50. You can make, like, a meta deck. 50, 60, $80. That's what I hear. I don't know that firsthand, but that's what people say. So it's relatively cheap compared to a lot of other stuff, but it's very expensive compared to a lot of other stuff too. I don't know. Peak That Shoe says, preach this truth. If you broke, just say so. If you broke, just say that. Yeah, I agree. Jeeth, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. If you're opening $50 USD for an ETB is so expensive, 50 USD for, like, 10 minutes worth of fun opening packs, way too expensive. I think 30 for an ETB is too expensive. Mind blown. Like, I genuinely, like, even when the packs were $3 a piece, $4 a piece, that's a lot of money to do in mass all the time. Said by a live stream operator that sells 7 figures of product a year. Like, I don't value it that much. I value other things more. My budget, clearly my budget for sitting cuties, all that stuff. Like, I enjoy this stuff. Mason says, stop, Dan, you need to chill. But like, our household spending 70 grand a year, and my Pokemon consumption is maybe 3 or 4 grand a year. My Pokemon consumption's maybe $250 a month. Say it's $250 a month. Well, at my cost, I opened 1 box of Mega Evolution for $100 cost, but I could have sold it for $300. So was that $300 worth, or was that $100 worth? It's hard to say. But I can't justify opening significantly more than that. And even when a year ago, 14 months ago, I was opening a couple boxes of every set with my family. We weren't master setting stuff. I genuinely don't value it that much. Back in base set, when you could open a couple boxes and you could have most of it, that's more my speed. I can't justify the cost of a lot of this stuff. And that's, like, blasphemy to say. Mason says I need to chill, but that's just me. That's how I value it. I like going out to dinner. I like going out to meals. I can't stomach sitting on a random Friday night and spending $100, $150 on opening a booster box of cards, but a lot of people can, and that's fine. I can stomach, so I can make a mean meal at home. I can make a nice steak dinner at home for 20, $25. But sometimes my wife and I go to a couple different steakhouses around us. Sometimes we spend $200 going to dinner that I could make at home for 25, $30. And people would say, I'm crazy for doing that. I'd rather open a box of Pokemon cards. And that's fine. Like, all of life. I was having this talk with my son earlier. My kids are 5 and 7. They're always, I want this, Daddy, I want that. We don't watch tons of commercials because like we watch YouTube, we watch like PBS Kids. The commercials are better on PBS Kids. But when we do watch commercials, there's times where they're just watching something that has a lot. I want that. I want that. I want that. Shout out to Paula Pant, the Afford Anything podcast. In life, most people can afford anything they want, but you can't afford everything you want. So, Dan, you're saying the same thing. No, two distinctly different things. Most people in life, in the U.S., born like I was, born on third base, not having rich parents, not having a trust fund, anything like that. If you're listening to this, disproportionately, you were probably born on third base in that you were born in a first world country and you have access to like all the things that lead you to listening to this today. And you can probably afford most anything you want in life, but not all of it. You need to choose. Every day in life, you need to make conscious choices of like, if you choose that bigger house, are you going to be house poor for the next 30 years because you're stretching yourself as far as the bank will give you and then some? You're borrowing money from your parents, you're borrowing money here, there. You're saving up for 10 years to put a 20% down payment in 30 years ball and chain to a mortgage so that you can be house poor for the next 30 years. A lot of people do that. A lot of people do it with cars. And consciously, they're choosing, like, I'm buying this car, I'm buying this house, more of it than maybe I should, and I'm gonna skimp on the dinners. I'm gonna skimp on going to Rangers games. I'm gonna skimp on traveling the world and spend money where you receive value back from it in proportion to like what you're outlaying. Like every dollar to some extent is representative of the life, the time that you put into getting that money. So like make sure what you're getting out of it is proportional to what you're putting into getting it. And a lot of people, it's sad, but like I worked with a lot of people in my former job that just hated their jobs, and they hated their jobs, so they treated themselves. They treated themselves a couple times a week, opening packs of Pokemon cards and this and that and the other thing, and treat yourself. What was that show? Not Community. Was it Community? Why do I keep confusing it with Community? Not that one, the other one. Parks and Rec. Anyways, do whatever. Everyone's adults, but like conscious spending. Parks and Rec. Yes, thanks you. If you are so miserable in your job and your day to day that you need to have these treats along the way to make it not insufferable, maybe you can just find something you're happier doing. You won't need the treats. The treats are almost tying you to the job for life. Like the little treats that brighten up your day, brighten up your week. They're forcing you to stay with that job. Treating yourself to a nicer car, treating yourself to a nicer, bigger house. That's ensuring that you're stuck in the debt servitude for the rest of your life. And I don't know exactly how I got down that path, but something about buying Pokemon cards. Like I just, they don't bring as much value as other things, and that's fine. That's fine. It is fine to enjoy other things and value other things more. So if and when, and again, this is where Alex got flack. If and when they're too expensive for you, well, they're not too expensive for someone else. And that's just what it is. The whole Taylor Swift thing. I went to a Taylor Swift concert for $100 over 10 years ago. I watched her open for Rascal Flatts at the New York State Fair. Today her concerts are thousands of dollars. I valued it that much at that time. I don't value it at what it is today. And I'm not going to just make YouTube videos constantly crying about it. Stop going to Taylor Swift concerts. I'm a true fan. I need to go to one for $100 again. because that's what I value it at. Yeah, that's like just a fact of the market. You can I guess that's a complaint against capitalism or whatever, and you can be against capitalism all you want, but that doesn't change the fact that like that's our reality today, and so it is what it is. Mandatory, yeah, obligatory Swift story. Let me scroll back up and continue on. Oh no. I just scrolled up and I'm so far behind in chat that I lost a bunch, I think. But let me continue on. Just got here. Did I miss the rant already? I haven't had a crazy rant yet, I don't think. PC ETBs like a dream world. Surging Sparks PC ETBs like a dream world. I missed the boat on PC ETBs. If I buy them, I want to be able to buy a lot of them. And PC ETBs don't really check that box, so I don't go for them. So I expect they will want prices to come down. Question is, can they make that happen, and when can they make that happen? I think in the next 6 to 18 months, I think it'll happen. 6 months ago, I started saying in the next 6 to 24 months. So in the next, I guess in the next 0 to 18 months, I think it'll happen. But I could be wrong. You think booster boxes are going down to 160 again? I don't think that will ever happen, brother. The only BMC, I don't know if you'll hear this, like a month ago, like you probably asked this an hour ago. The only BMC, I would ask you, please answer me. I'll keep an eye on the live chat as I ask this. How long have you been here? Most people saying this confidently have not been here for any 2-year cycle of a booster box release. I think it will go down sub MSRP at some point. I'm probably going to be here the next 11 years. I've been here the last 11 years. I'll probably be here the next 11. It's my full-time job. I've been deep in the hobby for 11 years. Most people saying this have been here 6 months, 3 months. Most people won't answer me because they're like, crap, he kind of got me there. This person, to be fair, they asked it an hour ago, and they probably just aren't listening now. Dan, how does someone like Jake not have a brain aneurysm to today's prices? Should true bears leave and come back, or bite the bullet, swallow the back in my day mindset? Jake is a probabilistic, smart thinker. Jake knew that some semblance of this has always been possible. Like, to call Jake a bear, to call a guy who quit his job and has 7 figures in Pokemon a bear, like, why do we do that? Why do we do that? Because Jake says that things might go down. Because Jake says that when people are irrationally exuberant, and Jake says some people are being irrationally exuberant, that makes Jake a bear. Like, I'm going to make, Dan is off the fence. I'm going to make an objective statement of fact, as Jake did 2 years ago. There are some people in the hobby today that are irrationally exuberant. There are some people that have no idea what they're doing, that are making bold claims, talking out of their ass. They have no idea what they're doing. And they might be right in that the prices might go up. And in the past couple of years, they've been right in that the prices went up. But it doesn't make their line of or lack of logic any less an issue, right? How, Pikachu, I'm coming to the live chat. I might lose old ones. How is Jake bearish? Jake has 7 figures in Pokemon, and Jake does Pokemon full time. Jake quit like a steady, solid job to do Pokemon. Like, I'm called bearish too. What are we talking about? Why am I called bearish? I have 7 figures of Pokemon. I have 100,000 packs. Jake bought into Cardinal Gaming. Jake is hiring people full time. How is he bearish? Does he think certain things people are being irrationally exuberant? Yes. Does he know that in a year or two, Destined Rivals could be $1,000 a box? Yes. Does he also know that Destined Rivals in a year or two could be $100 a box? Yes. People call him, it is dumb. Peak, you are being dumb if you think Jake is bearish. Like, again, there's no way around that. You are being dumb if you truly think Jake is, like, again, binary, percentage-wise. Like there's certain things that he's more bearish on than others. Like, he probably likes certain slabs better than certain seal, blah, blah, blah. But just overall, if you have to go binary, bullish or bearish, I would call Jake bullish on the hobby. I would call me bullish on the hobby. I'm on the fence. Jake has been bearish for years. Have you been bullish? If you've been bullish and Jake's been bearish, I know what Jake's done in Pokemon. I hope you've done more. Because, like, that's where people lose me. It's like, Dan, why are you so bearish? I'm super bullish on the hobby. Well, I don't, like, peek that shoe. Peek that shoe. This is why Jake does not any longer. I'm still here bashing my head against the wall every other week on live streams. And when it comes from people that I think should know better, that's when it's even crazier. To call Jake bearish, to call a guy who's collecting, investing, speculating, whatever you want to call it, it's wild. I don't know. I don't understand it. But anyways, let me continue on because I'm gonna lose more questions. You're streaming from a child's bedroom. Thank you, Waka Doobie 1338, for your excellent contribution. You have the username of an immature child, so there's my retort to that. Thank you for accidentally promoting my competitively priced 151 pack. That's funny. What's up with that hairline? It's receding is what it's doing. I'm a 35-year-old and I live stream on YouTube every other week, and every time I stream on YouTube, my hairline goes back 2 follicles. So I'm very bearish on my hairline in the coming years because I have to deal with Peak That Shoe calling a guy that quit his job and put a huge portion of his net worth. And I have private conversations with Jake. Jake is a close friend, close business partner. I can't detail some of the private conversations we have, but like publicly, it's been talked about by other people. Cardinal Gaming, that whole thing. He has bigger, more bullish aspirations than me for my business with his business. He's very bullish on many things about the hobby in general, and especially his place, Cardinal's place in the hobby. I'm bullish on the hobby in general. I'm bullish on my place in the hobby. Do I think Destined Rivals at its current price is insane? Yes. But do I know that it can go up? Yes. Let's see. Dan, can I get all my 151 packs back from you at cost? No. Question, Destined Rivals, $1,000 booster box, Xmas 2026. Do you agree? I would give less than a 5% chance of that happening, but it is possible. It is fully possible that Destined Rivals is $1,000 a box this year. All it would take, like, this will sound like a lot to some people, but Destined Rivals could be $1,000 a box this year if somebody puts a couple $1,000,000 into it. A couple $1,000,000 is nothing. There are people today that own $2 million of Dogecoin, own $2 million of Fartcoin. There are people today that own $200 million of Bitcoin. For the memes, there are individuals that could make Destined Rivals $1,000 this Christmas. Do I think they will? No. But could they? Absolutely. Yes. I give less than a 5% chance of it happening by next year. I give less than a 1% chance of it happening by this year. But it can happen. Like, that's... Thumbnail does look like a hostage pick. I feel like a hostage. I'm a hostage of my own self-induced bi-weekly live streams. Semi-weekly live streams. Thoughts on the single slab market? I feel like the majority of Ultra Modern is overvalued. Generally speaking, I think it's overvalued relative to the things that I'm buying and holding. Yes. Question, do you know why Troll and Toad's site has been under maintenance for so long? I heard many months ago that they were moving from Kentucky, where they were before, to another state. And I don't know. I haven't heard in months. I heard firsthand from people high up at that company that was happening. I don't know what's going on right now. Aggressively buying, you're a scalper? I'm a scalper who buys from scalpers to scalp the end consumer as well, I guess. I don't know. That's a word that other people use that I don't fully understand. The gas station near to you is a scalper. They buy gas wholesale and they sell it at retail. Like I buy it wholesale, I sell it retail. If that makes me a scalper, then yes. So is your grocery store, so is everything, everyone. It's a silly thing, I think. Out of prismatic and 151, which do you think will be worth more in 5 to 10 years? 151 personally, I could be wrong. Dan, been a minute since I caught one of your streams, so sorry if you're repeating. Do you still believe sets that have not been below MSRP will be someday? Yes, I think individual packs of sets that have not been under MSRP will be someday, but I'm open to being wrong too. How high does 151 have to go before it's not practical to open anymore? The top hit is only worth $295 raw. People open black and white packs where the top hit is like $30 raw and the packs are $100. People open things that are way negative EV. So like 151 will be $1,000 a pack someday, 100 years from now, maybe. $100 a pack, $150, $200 a pack. People will open it. People will do like the experience, whatever. People do crazy things all the time. The more people who clown you about MSRP, the more I believe it. Please sell him Shining Legends. Do you think there's greater than a 50% chance Destiny Rivals booster boxes will get back to MSRP? Yes. Do I think it's 99%? No. Do I think it's 50%? Yes. Do I think it's 60, 70%? Somewhere in there, probably. Man, this guy, Wackadoobie1338 says, man, this guy knows nothing about Pokemon. This guy that's been in Pokemon for 11 years, 4 years full time, built a multi-7-figure business, has people who quit their job that work with him, independent contracting, paying very high wages to them. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. Like, said by somebody who's probably been in the hobby for less than a year, who probably guarantees things and knows a lot more than I do. I have to scroll down for the obligatory. Anytime someone says that, you have the obligatory Bradgy cards. They're spitting facts as they are. Okay, I am. Why do I not have timestamps on these comments? That is annoying to me. I used to have. Oh no. Where are my comments? Okay, here they are. I'm at the point where the Banhammer came out. I'm at the point where the Banhammer came out so long ago. Question, I think the rise of vending is driving this market. To be successful, each vendor needs a large inventory to cast a wide net. The market will cool down once vending comes down. Agree. I made my video Monday. Go check out my video Monday. I think it's vaults and instant rips and GameStop power packs. I think it's Courtyard. I think it's... There's like 20 different vaults that are trying to acquire millions of dollars of slabs so that they can digitally sell gambling, basically. And one rant that I wanted to do is like, I made my video on Monday. Some people were really salty. Some people were really mad. This Saturday, tune into the live stream. Oh no. My YouTube live chat just crashed. My Chrome just crashed. Crap. How many questions am I gonna lose? It came back when I refreshed it, but I just lost a lot of stuff. Crap. I just lost like 45 minutes or more of chat. I apologize for that. I don't know that I'll be able to get it back. I have more in my OBS. Crap. I just lost a lot. Yeah, I just lost a lot of chat. I'm sorry for that. But if you asked a question and I missed it, feel free to ask it again. But I'm still here. I think the vaults are doing it. One rant that I wanted to have that I guess I can have now. One rant that I wanted to have is let me see if I can recover it. If I scroll back in chat. I don't think I can recover it if I like scroll back through my live stream timing. Yeah. Until it's published as a video, you don't get all that back. But anyways, it's interesting to me how like Pokemon sells a mystery product. We don't know what is in this. We don't know ratios. We know the set list. So if you buy an ETB, you get the set list. So you have an idea what can be in there. But you don't know pull rates. It's on us as a community. It's on TCG Player Infinite to open 10,000 packs to tell us, hey, Moonbryon is roughly 1 in 1,800, 1 in 2,000 packs. This card is roughly 1 in this many, 1 in this many. Pokemon sells a mystery product where they don't disclose the odds. We don't know what we're getting. We don't know what the cards are going to be worth. That's determined by the market, not by Pokemon, right? But Pokemon prints this at will. And Pokemon gets like a pass. But Pokemon is building the core foundational gambling product. And then when Fanatics does it, when GameStop does it, as long as it's open, honest, transparent, it has a full checklist. Every card you can get is shown. So let me link you to the live stream this Saturday. We are going to be selling 50 $1,004 mystery packs. We're going to be selling 50 of them on our anniversary. And it's fully known what's inside of them, or it will be. That as of today, it's not set up yet, but it's not 100% set. But the numbers are there. If you don't like it, don't buy. But we will be returning. So when you open these, and Pokemon doesn't fully control it because the market determines the price of the singles, but the EV of most of these things are 30, 40, 50% tops. When we sell $50,000 worth of slabs, it's going to be $50,000 worth of slabs. We pay less than, well, Fanatics probably pays less than 100%. They're probably making some money buying at 80, 90%, selling for 100%. But it's fully transparent. You know that your odds are 1 in 50 at getting the grail that you want. You know that your odds are 1 in 50 of getting the random chase. You know your odds of getting any random floor are 1 in 50. And it's all fully there. It's all third-party verified, vaulted, values set by Card Ladder. And why does Pokemon get a pass with what they do, which is way more brutal, negative 70% EV? And then when people build, and I'm on the same page. If people are building a product, if people are building a product like this one, where you don't fully know and it can't be verified, but if it's all on screen, if it's all verified, if the checklists are there, and all the cards get pulled, it's like, don't buy it if you don't want it. But how can you really knock it? That always blows my mind. It's I would prefer that people just buy what they want, but that's not the way consumers are. People see a shiny object, a mystery object, question mark. Peter Griffin, he didn't take the boat. He took the mystery box because it could have been a boat, right? That was like a little bit of a joke, but that's how people are. That's how people are. People like to gamble. So to sell that product, to fulfill that demand that exists at 0 EV to the buyer, like, for people to be so against that, it's really weird to me. Will be hard for things to come down because now everyone has the 2020 bull plus 2025 bull to back up purchases. Nobody can say Black Swan event anymore to scare people out of buying. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Dan, your favorite saying lately has been, how long have you been here? Because there's a ton of people that have not been here at all, that have no idea what they're talking about, talking out of their ass. That's why it's my favorite saying lately. Finally caught alive, and he's 1.5 hours behind. Nothing changes. Young Bambino, I was 1.5 hours behind. Now I'm only an hour behind. Now I'm only half an hour behind because I lost an hour of chat. So we're catching up. And I apologize to everyone I missed. If I missed your question, feel free to ask it again, and I will do my best to get to it. I apologize. You'll never see it retail again. Again, people using never that have no idea what they're talking about. How long have you been here? DGK Vang 559. How long have you been here? Jake is so bearish. Yes, so bearish that he has 7 figures of Pokemon and quit his job to do it. I'm a bear for life because I got that Destined Rivals call wrong. You're a bear because you're 6'4" and live in the woods. You're on the fence. Jake has been bearish for years. With your 11 years of Pokemon experience, have there ever been this many people in the hobby? No. But there's been times where it's been up, and then there's been times where it's been down, and at some point, Pokemon will cool some amount. Will it double before it cools, and then will the new low be higher than the highest high we've ever had? Could be, yes. But like, it's so crazy to me. Like, when I say it might go down, people think I'm guaranteeing that it's going down and it's going to zero. I'm saying, like, it might go up, it might go down. Like, the fact that people get so mad when you just say there's a chance it goes down, and I'll tell you why that is. I'm gonna psychoanalyze the average less than 12-month person that's been here that gets so panicked and so mad. A lot of those diamond hand investors, a lot of those people are scared shitless. A lot of those people have no act, like they talk a big game of their 4 boxes, 5 boxes, 2 cases, whatever it is, and then the second things start to turn, the second things go down, Destined Rivals goes to 200 a box, they're gonna panic sell. Most people that fit this archetype, I'm painting with a broad brush, I'm doing things, I'm generalizing, I'm doing things you generally shouldn't do, but it's kind of necessary. It's kind of necessary. A lot of those people that guaranteed Vivid Voltage wasn't gonna go below 200. You know what they were saying? It's different this time. Things have changed forever. New normal. Blah, 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 blah. I guarantee Vivid Voltage will never go under 200. I bought a lot of those people Vivid Voltage for 70 bucks a box. I bought them for 80 bucks a box. I'll buy them all if they go under MSRP. They're never going under MSRP. They sold for 90 bucks a box. They sold for 80 bucks a box. Talk is cheap. Talking out of your ass is plus EV. So people just do it. People just do it. Show me what, like, show me the walk. Nobody's showing the walk. Very few people are showing the walk. Are we booming? 153 watching right now. We are booming. Dan, you told that guy I don't know when he gave you $2 super chat asking about a PSA 10 Giovanni Charisma. Therefore, you're a bear. Goated Pulls, how's it going? And like Goated Pulls, he made that video a while back with who was that with? And he got a lot of hate in the comments. Like and even my co-host Nick on PokeFlips, not a big fan of the Milky Bags. And to me, it's like, I don't know what the EV is. I've never sat down and calculated the EV of a Milky Bag. But he shows everything that's there. He sets the price, and he sells them. And people willingly buy them. Who's the victim in that? It's fully transparent. He's not scamming. He's not swapping. It's all on screen. It's all there. Everyone's getting the cards that are sold. Some people are losing money. Some people are making money. No different than this. But it's even more transparent than this. Like, you could open 2 cases and not get your gold Lucario. If you go into a Goated Pull stream and you see that, like, this one is in the Milky Bag tonight and the Milky Bags sell out, someone is guaranteed getting that. You can go over to us on Fanatics Live and you can buy 1,000 packs of Prismatic. You are not guaranteed to get the Umbreon. If we sell 50 bags at 1,000 a bag and there's a Giratina PSA 10 from Lost Origin in there, I promise you, I guarantee you, if those sell out, someone is getting the PSA 10 Giratina. Guaranteed. If you buy all 50, I'm not telling you to, if you buy all 50, you are getting $50,000 worth of value. I can't make that, like, per card ladder, subject to change, blah, 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 disclaimer. But, like, I can't guarantee you what you're getting out of this. If you buy 1,000 of these, you're probably getting 30% of value, 40%, 50% of value on average. So it's like, yeah, that's why the whole mystery product. Consumers want it. Sellers will fill the demand, and it is what it is. Continuing on. Yo, why is Dan highlighting some of these comments? They will write books about this bubble one day. Trust. I know, the godly shot. Isn't it troubling how high some of those gold stars getting? Gold stars are in such a bubble. I mean, modern sealed, that only goes up. It's deflationary. But they will write books about the bubble that vintage is in right now. That one's gonna drive Godly Shad wild. The SPC will be 1K and UPC 2K. Very bearish on the headline. Yes. This hobby is just borderline insanity at this point. Just got to ride the wave and participate. That's what I'm doing. I'm riding the wave for sure. Is Mega Evolution a good investment? My allocation at $100 a box was a phenomenal investment. Is Mega Evolution a good investment at 300? I don't know. At 330, I don't know. I'm not making it though. All I know is I'm not making it. I'm setting some cases back and I'm buying other things. Jake has the incredible ability to act against what he thinks prices should be. I respect him to the moon, and I was wrong. Read it, chat. I was wrong. Learn to say this. I think we did enough of the Jake stuff. Pokemon sold $400 million worth of product with UPC in 1 hour. $2 million on Destined Rivals is nothing. Printers will go burr, and Pokemon will get their cake. Do you buy from other countries to get products? Yes, I've spent more than 6 figures buying from other countries. Tariffs have made that more difficult, but I'm still buying from other countries all the time. Ready for hockey season? Yes. Do I still have items at Troll and Toad? Yes. Not many, but some. Yes. I feel like Phantasmal has the ingredients to be the first domino that falls, causing a significant crash correction. Small set, Zard Chase, Holidays, better pull rates, heavy printing. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not betting on it necessarily. I'm not like shorting Phantasmal Flames. But we'll see what happens. With Mega Evo supply chain issues, do you think Pokemon should have pushed the release day back rather than a 3-ish week gap to catch up? In a perfect world, they would just forecast better. They would just not miss deadlines, but like it is what it is. I don't know. They are a lot smarter than I am with respect to this. So I'll honor their judgment call there and not take it too hardly on them. Dan doesn't know Pokemon. His wall is green screen. Have you ever seen me take anything off my wall? I don't think you have. My wall could be green screen. I might just be a very good editor to pull that off my wall, off my green screen and put it back. These things are really cool. These things are really, really cool. Niue, N-I-U-E. They're like actual legal tender in Niue, made in 2001, PCGS graded, which is like the PSA equivalent in coins. If anyone has any questions that I missed, feel free to leave them in chat. Most people probably left a question and then dipped. They're probably not here anymore. I apologize. Dan, stop getting one guide, ignore him and move on. I don't know which one that was with respect to. The Banhammer was like 2 hours ago. I've only been live for 1 hour and 53 minutes, so it wasn't that long ago. That Wackadoobie comment was near beginning of stream. I remember seeing it. What's my chase card? My chase card in this is the gold Lucario. Unfortunately, my family did not hit it in the 36 packs we opened. We're probably done opening. We're not going to chase it. Only a few hundred questions, no biggie. Can't operate a computer, expects us to follow his Pokemon advice. I'm not giving advice on what to do. I'm telling people what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And if you want to use that to guide your own thoughts and your own like things that you do, feel free to. But yeah, I'm not an influencer. I made it like that's one of the videos that I'm most proud of that probably just people don't get and thought it was a stupid video. I don't want to influence anyone's actions. I don't want to influence anyone's decisions. I don't want something I say directly to make someone sell what they're holding. I don't want anything that I say directly to make someone go buy something that they don't have. Most people, most channels want you to buy stuff. I guess one thing, if you want to buy a Catch 'em All Collectibles hat, if you want to buy a Catch 'em All Collectibles shirt, that stuff's there. That stuff's like consumption. You're not going to make money. There's no promise of you making money like a lot of channels have. A lot of channels, Vivid Voltage guaranteed to go up. Click my affiliate link below so I can get a fraction of you buying $200 Vivid Voltage boxes that then crash 50%. Anyways, the thing I do want to influence you to do, you, Poking Fun, everyone else, I want to influence people to use their brains. Most people absolve themselves of personal responsibility. But Mr. PokeTuber told me to do this. I did it. I'm a victim. I got rug pulled on this crypto scam. That some guy pumped me and dumped me on this crypto scam. I'm a victim. A lot of people want to be victims. A lot of people want to offload their personal responsibility on someone external so that if they're right, they're rich, and if they're wrong, they're a victim. That way they never have to own the decision and like realize as an adult they lost money. They made a big boy decision, big girl decision, and they lost money because of it. And they don't want to own that responsibility. They don't want to bear that. So they don't allow themselves to. But yeah, my Chrome crashed because I have 50 tabs open and I lost all my chat history. The grand archive was lost. Kanto Collectibles says, so is instant rips the reason behind the PSA buybacks being pushed so hard? As someone who grades a ton, it has been so nice to insta sell through PSA offers. Most of those are going to GameStop power packs. So there are channels on YouTube that go into GameStop power packs and just live, they'll spend 10 grand on GameStop power packs and they'll sell them back for 90% and they'll re-roll and they'll buy the $50 ones, the $100 ones, the $500 ones, the $1,000 ones. They'll just gamble all stream trying to make money. And thousands of views, way more views than I get in my videos. So GameStop PSA, they're like, Nat is on the board with GameStop. They're linked heavily with the whole GameStop PSA thing. A lot of the PSA Vault offers are going to GameStop power packs, as far as I understand. But Fanatics is also going into the market and buying tons of stuff for their instant rips. Courtyard is buying stuff for their rips. Everyone is buying stuff for these things. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. Tens of millions, hundreds of millions. If you had 20 Evolving Skies ETBs and 20 Celebrations ETBs that you got for 40 a piece, would you sell them at this time into this market? Yes. I owned them in the past. I own 0 more of either. I think I own, on my pallet video, I think I have 1 or 2 cases of Evolving Skies ETBs on the first pallet. So I own a little bit of that. But like, talk versus walk. I owned them in the past. I don't own them today. So me, risk adjusted, opportunity cost adjusted, I've already sold. I sold too early. But like, I bought other things that went up a lot too. But yeah, I'm not telling you to sell yours, but I'm telling you why I sold mine. I like loose packs of 151 better than either of these. I like the things that I'm buying. I spent 8 grand on McDonald's Pikachu packs. Again, some of the people in chat, haha, Dan, you said Destined Rivals is going to MSRP. I've got 2 boxes. I'm right, you're wrong. I bought 400 of these and they went to $60 a pack. I turned 8 grand into 24 grand, and I'm going to turn 24 grand into 50 grand because I'm grading them and I'm selling pristines for $300 and I'm selling Gem Mint 10s for 100 whatever. And like, people are crazy. What if fakes become more prominent and it crashes the hobby? What percent do you assign to it? Very, very low. I think sports cards would be easier to fake. A lot of there are plain cardboard 1986 Fleer Jordan rookies that tons of people have tried to fake over the years. And some fakes have been graded. Some fake base set first edition have been graded with PSA, BGS, CGC, and so on. People are trying to do it. People are trying to counterfeit luxury goods, Rolexes, different bags. People are trying to counterfeit anything of value. But it just hasn't happened to a large scale. I don't think it will anytime soon. If it did, it would hit sports cards first. They would hit, like, why dabble with $1,000 cards in Pokemon that are hollow, that are embossed, that are textured? Why not just do sports cards from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s that you can buy, like the old equipment that Upper Deck used to use back in the day, probably Topps used to use back in the 50s. You can probably buy one of those old machines and just like spool it up and go, right? It would be harder to get the right ink. It would be harder to get the raw material aged probably, blah, blah, blah. But there you'd be printing just cardboard pieces worth thousands individually. Investing on Mega Evolution at market value. No, I don't buy anything at 100%. Like almost nothing I buy at 100% of market value. A lot of people that are investing are paying sales tax. What are we doing? Don't pay sales tax. That's the #1 mistake a lot of people, investors, make. If you're doing business in Pokemon, do business in Pokemon. Register as a business. Get the benefits. Be sales tax exempt on items intended for resale. It's crazy. Question: if you had to invest in another TCG, can't say MetaZoo, what would you pick? Would you dabble in MTG collector booster boxes? If the right collab comes along, I might buy Magic collector boxes, but I haven't seen one yet, so that's probably the most likely. Do you not think oversaturation ever diminishes the returns, similar to crypto market where meme coins were popping off, but eventual market cap got too large and returns diminished? I think eventually that will happen, but I would have said I think eventually that will happen back in the XY era when a lot of people were investing, and then those boxes are $10,000 now, Phantom Forces. So I think it will happen eventually, but the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. That whole thing. I don't know when it will happen. I don't know when it will happen. So I think at some point I'm gonna say I held too much too long, but I've never said it yet. I've been in Pokemon for 11 years, and I've never said I held too much too long. I've always said I bought too little. I should have gone harder. But someday it's gonna go the other way. Fanatics gotta have some crazy degens buying 1K mystery packs. 1K mystery packs that on average are worth 1K. Like every night we're selling hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars of pack rips that just evaporate 70% of your money. These instant rips, like the floor is what the average pack rip situation is. The floor in that $1,000 pack might be $300-400. So it's like worst case scenario, you're doing what an average pack ripper does, negative 70%. Best case scenario, you're 5xing your money. There's gonna be a grail that's like $4,000 or $5,000 in there. Mega Evolution's worth investing in, been away for a while. Not for me. No, opportunity cost. I think there's just a lot of things that are better. Do you think someone buying $1,000 Fanatics pack cuts into them not spending $1,000 on your inventory unless the percent they give you for doing so is higher than what you're doing? Absolutely. I make a percentage off what we sell in instant rips. When $1,000 pack sells, I make some percentage. That's money that they don't have to buy packs now. I will tell you, I make a lower percentage on instant rips than I average on net on my packs. So that is a thought that I've had. It is what it is. There's pros and cons, as with everything. It's not binary. There's not one that's better. There's not one that's worse. There's pros and cons. My capital is not at risk when I'm selling Fanatics inventory. I'm just making a guaranteed percentage. The packs, my capital's at risk. So far, it's gone up. It's gone up a lot. I've been glad to have that capital at risk because it's made me a lot of money. But will it continue to into perpetuity? A lot of people think it will that have no skin in the game. So I don't hold much weight with their thoughts. You're a new kid, huh? Dan Everstream. Yes. I think Phantasmal's going to be a good catch-up point to reprint the crap out of Destined Rivals for them. They stagger small sets in strategically. Pokey in his video today addressed that. I don't think Pokemon intentionally prints bad sets to allow them to catch up. I think Pokemon is generally trying their best. I think they do, they try to give every Pokemon some face time. They try to print their Bonesleys. They try to print I'm trying to think of the Pokemon that only had like one printing in TCG history. They try to print like every Pokemon a little bit here and there. Not every set. Sorry, Java. Not every set can be a Charizard set. Not every set can have Pikachu, Charizard, Ho-Oh, Mewtwo, Mew. But a lot of them do. And from time to time, they need to showcase the new Pokemon. Like a lot of times, base sets kind of fall flat. I think generally because new, scary, bad. These Pokemon are yucky. They're not as good as my Kanto. They're not as good as my Johto. I think that's generally why base sets underperform. They're showcasing the new Pokemon that people don't know yet. People haven't experienced. People haven't built bonds with the new Pokemon yet. Playing the games, playing in the TCG, whatever it may be. We have a 30-year history with Pikachu, with Charizard. So whenever Mega Evolution is here today, it's not. People are calling Mega Evolution a base set. It's not a base set. It's not new Pokemon. It's not Quaxly, unfortunately. It's not Fuecoco. It's not Sprigatito. It's Pokemon that we've known. It's Lucario. It's Gardevoir. It's Charizard. It's Gengar in the next set. So it's not a true base set. But yeah, anyways. I think any sensible person should be bearish with what's going on. Bubbles can last years. Comics was in a bubble for 7 years and eventually oversaturation killed it. Returns diminish. You don't need to apologize when you are giving people free investment information and have 10 plus years of data to prove it. People need to be more thankful for free advice rather than negative. It's very interesting how entitled people can be in some ways. Like the paywall. People get so negative over paywalls. And it's like, I'm live every week. I'm live every week. And again, I'm not preaching gospel. I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to make you money. But you get to go inside the mind of somebody who's doing this at a high level for free every week, for hours every week. Pokey Flips, and then my channel every other week. For $10 a month, you can go into Discord and you can add more hours every week. You can add office hours every week. You can have a Zoom call once a month for $10 a month. And then if you want to go to the highest level, $100 for an hour of my time. And people like, one of the funniest things is like, I sometimes I make instructional videos on how to import prices from TCG Player. I made a short. It got thousands of views. And some people were like, Dan, you gave us the formula for how to import booster pack prices from Pokemon. I want to do this, but with a Magic product. And they were like mad at me for having made content they didn't have to watch. They taught them how to fish. I literally said in the video, in the live stream, I said like, I'm getting this. You can change the XPath data and you can change the URL and you can get whatever you want. But someone's reaction to me putting free information out there was like anger. Like going back to the like, what world are we living in? With ChatGPT, I generated that thing. I figured it out on my own. I could have kept that to myself. But I shared it with people. And some people, imagine the human you need to be to learn something new, to be given the fishing pole, and here's how you use it. And then you cry because the person didn't make and cook the fish the way you like it to be made and cooked, or it was the wrong fish. You got me a lake trout when I wanted a largemouth bass. People are insane. People are actually insane. Like if you don't want to be here, please don't be here. It's worth the price you're paying. You're paying nothing to be here. It's entirely free. And like please don't stay if you're not having a good time. Dan, how many beers do I need to buy you this weekend to spill the grading company secrets you and Nick learned from the Silhouette Grader? You probably need to buy me a lot more beers than you need to buy Nick. I think Nick is the loose lips of the two. But there was nothing major. There was no like big conspiracy theory confirmed. There was no like do this one thing to get higher grades. It was a lot more boring than most people would expect, probably. People don't want to invest. They want to see it increase 100x right away, then sell. It is easy to get rich slowly over decades because so many people are trying to get rich quickly over days, weeks, months, years. Like I said, I bought cases from people at $80 a box because it didn't pan out for them quickly. So they moved on. I sell cases for $300 a box, $400 a box that probably aren't going to pan out well for them. And I could be wrong on that. Maybe they pan out really well for them. But I'm fueling my long-term slow wealth building accumulation with high levels of certainty at the cost of some very impatient people. Warren Buffett, this is like a Buffettism, or maybe it's Charlie Munger. I forget who it is. But the stock market is a tool that moves money from the impatient to the patient in a lot of ways. All the different studies, all the different funds, and largely like the 2021 boom was a massive wealth transfer. The 2021 boom was a massive wealth transfer to collectors, businesses, long-term people that had been in the space, been very patient, had a big collection, had a big inventory, whatever it may be. A lot of wealth was transferred from some new collectors, a lot of new speculators, a lot of new investors. I have things that I sold in the boom. The numbers aren't back still. I sold $1,000 PSA 10 base or Jungle First Edition Pikachu's and Eevees. I sold a $30,000 PSA 9 Shadowless set. Shadowless is doing well in the past year, but it's not back up to $30,000 for a PSA 9 Shadowless set. I sold a Shadowless PSA 9 Blastoise multiple for $7,000 or $8,000. I sold a PSA 9 Shadowless Blastoise for $15,000. That was people getting crazy. That was people getting greedy. That was people trying to get rich quick, making me rich slow. If that makes sense. I'm reading a DM right now. You're fine. Don't worry about it. I appreciate coming into the streams. I appreciate the engagement. Nobody knows. Nobody knows where this is gonna go. Bearish, bullish. There's a lot of people guaranteeing things will never go under MSRP. There's some people guaranteeing things are gonna fall and it's gonna be dark and ugly and bad. And I know that both outcomes have some percent chance of happening. Probabilistic thinking and forecasting has treated me well so far, and I'm gonna use it into the future. I'm never gonna go all in on one thing, and I think I'm gonna do well for it. I'm never gonna concentrate all my wealth in one place and turn into a billionaire. I'm as confident as I can be that I will never be a billionaire, because once I get to the certain thresholds, I will de-risk. I will fill my buckets. I will fill my 401ks, IRAs every year to try to establish that like firm foundation of the things I believe in more. Lower upside, but higher downside, as far as I believe. Poke Martin, that feels like a very bad analogy. I'm not on the fence about that at all. This is a very odd rant that doesn't fit well, but it fits well with that comment. The state of marriage, the state of people's inability to find someone compatible that they commit to and like put effort into maintaining. Both people, it's really sad. It is really sad how TikTokified our brains have become. I'm not like super religious or anything. I'm not talking about the sanctity of marriage from that respect, but like having reproduced, having had kids, wanting to raise them in a stable 2-parent household. And I think a lot of the same get rich quick, a lot of the same TikTok brain, a lot of the same can't think critically, a lot of the same like getting mad at being given a fishing pole and being taught how to fish. I want the fish, I want the fish. That's why people get divorced. That's why people go broke chasing get rich quick schemes. A lot of it has to do with like the same fundamental issues with humanity and society. And I'm not amazing with words, so I don't know how to properly convey that message. But I think some people will hear what I just said and they'll make sense of it. I think it will make sense to some people. A lot of diamond hand investors turn into paper hand Timmy when they see $20 profit too. Absolutely. People act like 5 years of post-2021 printing levels is enough data to guarantee future results. Is actually laughable. Pokey investing only became prevalent mainstream post-2021. Yes, as I said, like people are extrapolating for 50 years based off 5 months. And I still won't forget an interaction that I had with Alex, Nostalgianomics. I don't know if he's in here. I don't know if he's listening right now. But I remember we had some funny back and forth early in his tenure. I would call Alex a pretty close friend in the Pokemon hobby. I've met him multiple times in person. I've done some business with him. I've sold to him. I don't know if I've bought from him, but I've sold to him a couple times. We talk, not every week, not every day, but like we talk a decent amount. But I remember years ago in his Discord, I was kind of pushing at some of the things he was saying. I didn't agree with. I was kind of pushing his buttons on it. I think I had a couple beers on like Labor Day, Memorial Day, whatever it was. But I remember having said something like, information coming from somebody that's been around longer and seen and has seen more is valued more. I forget the exact. Let me see if I can search it up in his Discord. But it was like, yes, I would rather be taught how to play basketball by somebody who has played basketball for years of their life, not somebody who just got introduced it a week ago and thinks they have it all figured out, right? There's probably no shot that I can find this conversation from like years ago, but he kind of like was taken aback by me saying something like, I'm going to respect not necessarily expert, but opinions of experienced people more highly than people that haven't been around. Kind of talking about what Brad has been saying for the past hour. Like how long have you been here? That actually matters. I actually want to hear from people. And that's why I value what Alex has to say on a lot of stuff. That's why I watch Alex and Eli's podcast every Monday. That's why I watch what Rudy says. That's why I watch what Mason Cardinal Gaming says. That's why I watch some Danny Phantom videos. Because they're in it and they're doing things. And most people throwing things around, not even just in YouTube comment sections, most people throwing things around like with 10,000 subscribers, with 20, 30, 50,000 subscribers. Maybe most is too strong. Many people throwing things around with 10, 20, 30,000 subscribers haven't been around, haven't done this stuff. And they're trying to tell people how to invest. It's the blind leading the blind. And so far, I guess it's gone well for them. But I'm not gonna find the comments. Why can I not search for messages in his server? I can't search for like the messages that I posted in his server. I can't search for like from. Most Discord servers you can search. I was gonna search for from my oldest comments and I couldn't find them. But anyways, yeah, walk versus talk. People don't understand how small this time frame is. Sneakerheads thought the same things, and eventually returns diminished because eventually there was too much to buy that was special. Again, like people in the Pokemon space will say, "Oh, sneakers. Those are who cares? These are Pokemon cards. These are different. These are better." I made a thing a couple weeks ago about the whole like Pokemon people. Not only will they not allow you to talk about comics or sneakers or any other collectible, Rolexes or classic cars or, well, this is Pokemon. You can't talk about that. You can't talk about Pokemon a year ago because now it's different because like you need to talk about their time frame. You need to talk about like, and this is one thing too, like everyone is the center of their own universe. So everyone is the center of their own universe. You need to talk about Pokemon only in the time frame that I've been in it through my lens. That is the only way that I will agree with you or understand. That's the way a lot of people are. Quarter of the night talking out of your ass is plus EV. I don't mind the Milky Bag model. It's better than casino odds. Honestly, casino odds are not as bad as a lot of people think. I don't think. If you play blackjack properly, if you play basic strategy in blackjack, you lose one bet increment an hour. You play 60 hands an hour. You lose roughly 1.5% to the house, maybe even slightly less than that if you have 3-2 blackjack and so on. But you can play negative 1.5%. I don't know if Milky Bags have that thin of a margin, but yeah, the margin on these way higher than Milky Bags. The margin on blackjack is only 1.5%. So if you gamble $1 million on average, if you're playing correctly, if you're playing incorrectly, it could be a lot worse. But on average, if you gamble $1 million, well, that's way too big of a number. If you gamble $10,000, you should lose $150 every $10,000 in bets that you make on blackjack. Side bets, way worse. Playing improperly, hitting a 16 against a 5. Well, now you're playing negative 5%, right? Let's see. How many people do you see asking if vintage is a good investment in this stream alone? 0. That says what is really in the bubble. Are we live? We are indeed live. I'm shocked at how many people are just trolling Dan and telling him he doesn't know what he's doing. My guy has officially made it. The scary thing is, like, they think they know what they're talking about. They have irrational exuberance. Plain and simple. And Jake gets called a bear years ago for saying that some of these people are irrationally exuberant. They might make money. Some people that were irrationally exuberant 3 years ago made a lot of money. Some people that are irrationally exuberant today are going to make a lot of money. But that doesn't make them not irrationally exuberant. To guarantee this, to guarantee that. Appreciate you, Cam, for subscribing. If you're enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying the free rant session, consider joining the Patreon. $10 a month, link down below. 4 years I've been doing the Patreon with Jake. 4 years of backlog, monthly Zooms, hours every month, hours every week in office hours in Discord. Or if you just want to hang out here every other week, videos every Monday at 1 p.m. Consider liking, consider subscribing if you're enjoying the content. Appreciate all that. 50 tabs, what are we doing? We're making money, we're booming, we're comping, we're grading, we're paying out consigners, all that stuff. Scalping is a pretty big variable in this. It's a bottleneck. If things were on shelves, there would already be a drop in price and artificial interest. How we get there, I don't know. I don't know either. President Whale Cabal sold many cards at the courtyard. Dan is blank good. Dan, should I sell X for Y? Yes and yes. Alex at the ranch says the only thing that stops the party is a greater economic crash. Maybe. It might take a recession. It might take the Dow dropping 30% to stop this. Dan, if you stand up in that room, does your head go through the roof? No. If I stand, I have these shelves, like this ceiling is relatively low. About a 7-foot ceiling though. Yeah, it's about a 7-foot ceiling. So my head is less than a foot from the ceiling in here. What if the Magic collab was Hello Kitty? My niece is pretty into Hello Kitty, but I'm not personally. I would probably not buy that. MTG Universes Beyond Gillinor. RuneScape. I am going in deep. Instant rips take way shorter though, right? 1K instant rip is what, couple minutes versus how long does it take to open 1K of packs? Streamers aren't free. True, very true. So again, pros and cons. Instant rips could be opened multiple a minute. The 1K ones, they'll probably roll them a little bit slower. It all depends on how quickly they're selling, yada yada. Soda is Coke tonight. Soda's Coke tonight. I'm being a bad boy drinking Coke. I'm good. 95% of my beverage consumption is homemade sparkling water with lemon. Yeah, you could do 4 to 5 instant rips in a minute if you had to. So Saturday, for the anniversary, we are going to have 500 $150 instant rips, along with 50 $1,004 instant rips. So we're gonna have $125,000 of instant rips available on Saturday for the anniversary stream, and we're gonna give away, as I said earlier, 2 Mega Evolutions booster boxes. PK is gonna give away one. Pong is gonna give away one. We're gonna give away miscellaneous slabs, sealed product, maybe some singles. We're gonna give away about $5,000 in Fanatics Live credits and singles and sealed and slabs and all kinds of stuff. Lot of stuff on Saturday. Like, come if you want to come. It'll be fun to just hang out. Affiliate link in the description below if you want to buy 25, get 25. But if you just want to hang out, it'll be fun to watch. I think watch it on a second screen, whatever. But it's plus EV to go, because like you can't lose money if you don't want to. You don't have to spend, and you can win a giveaway. We're gonna give away $300 booster boxes. We're gonna give away $250 Fanatics Live credits. We're gonna give away $100 Fanatics Live credits. So like you could put yourself in a can't lose scenario where you might get 250, 300 bucks. So like plus EV guaranteed, as long as you don't buy. If you buy the $1,000 instant rip, it's 0 EV. Sell back 90%. That makes it negative 10% EV if you take the sell back option. But yeah, continuing on. I appreciate you giving us advice / giving us your attention. Thank you. I appreciate you guys giving me your attention. Like it still blows my mind. I am, by all measures, a very small channel. But well, I take that back. Across all of YouTube, I'm actually like a reasonably high channel. But like when you think of YouTuber, which I cringe anytime I like, if someone calls me an influencer, if someone calls me a YouTuber, I kind of cringe at that. It still feels weird. But so in the space of like YouTubers, Deep Pocket Monsters, Danny Phantoms, Nostalgianomics, and he's not even primarily a YouTuber. He makes more money ripping and shipping. But so in the scheme of like the actual big ones, I'm very small. But in the scheme of everybody, I mean, not many people make it to 8,000 subs on the channel, and I'm almost there. But anyways, it still blows my mind. I graduated with 89 people in my senior class. I'm speaking to more people than I graduated with. Maybe some people by now have fallen asleep, whatever it may be. But we're booming. It still blows my mind that I can sit down, turn the camera on, rant and ramble for 2.5, 3 hours about what I'm doing in my business, about these shiny cards that we all love and enjoy to some extent. Well, I grabbed a random youngster trainer card there. But it blows my mind that I have the ability to do this. I work from home I don't get a ton of socialization. I will be socializing heavily this weekend at Card Party, but like this is my water cooler talk. This is my lunch table talk that I used to have at my old job. This is it, and I appreciate you guys being here to provide me that too. So I appreciate you guys providing me your attention as well. It is hopefully a win-win. If it's not, like, you should just leave. If you're not enjoying this, you shouldn't be here. So hopefully it's win-win, right? I'm here. I'm choosing to be here, choosing to go live because I'm enjoying it overall, even though sometimes it might seem like I'm not. I'm genuinely enjoying it. I think it's intellectually interesting to like stress test my beliefs and think through, like, is everyone right? Is everyone right? Is everything going to stay above MSRP? And it's very interesting to try to navigate the space and try to optimize my business, my inventory, try to optimize choosing which platform am I going to sell on. I've spoken with Whatnot. I've spoken with Fanatics. I've spoken with eBay. We're on Fanatics and eBay right now, trying to optimize all that stuff, all the moving parts. It's a lot of fun. PBD is 50K for 30 minutes. You undersell yourself, Dan. What's PBD? PBD is 50K for 30 minutes. Oh, is that that must be somebody's consult? PBD. I don't know who that is. Maybe I do. I can't think of the acronym or the name, the initials. Advice. Who needs advice when we can have red lights? I made my first penny on YouTube today. Investing in myself is working. Thanks, Dan. That's awesome. Yeah, shout out to Johto Jake. Not that Earn needs a shout out from me. Earn is on a trajectory to far this way, right? Earn is on a trajectory to far surpass my subscriber count in the next months, years, whatever. He's doing a good job over there. I like his car rants. Talking out his ass in his car is very plus EV for him. But yeah, he just started a podcast with Johto Jake every other week, I believe. Every other Wednesday night. So yours was last Wednesday night. I don't think it'll be tomorrow. It'll be the next one. So yeah, check that out if you haven't. Dan the Cabal Leader. He is my dear Cabal Emperor. Good night, everyone. This was a good live. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. People love to hate things they don't understand. Walk versus talk. Question, if you can go back in time, would you still go full-time into this or do it as a side hustle, and why? Thanks for your insight as always. I am so much happier day to day. I'm working about the same. I'm working when school's in session. When school's in session, I'm working for 50 hours a week probably. So I'm working about the same as I was as an engineer. But when I was an engineer, I was working 50 hours a week plus Pokemon, plus 20, 30, 40 hours a week in Pokemon. I was working 70 to 90 hours a week. And combined, I was making a lot less than I'm making now. I'm making many multiples of what I ever made chemical engineering. So I am very happy I left when I did. I could have been better off if I left a little bit earlier with hindsight, but I'm happy I did what I did. So yeah, if I could go back in time, I absolutely would do this full time. I have no regrets whatsoever. I love my day to day so much more. There's things that I do that I don't enjoy having to do, but overall, like I've done my best. I have a lot more control, a lot more freedom to optimize for the things that I want to do versus don't want to do. So, Goated Pull says, should I start doing Milky Bags on YouTube live instead of TikTok? Sounds like you're crushing on TikTok. I don't know. Can you not dual stream? Can't you be live on YouTube while live on TikTok and then funnel people into TikTok? That's probably the play, right? Get the extra free content there. And some people, they'll be live while they're streaming, but then they'll make it private just so that it doesn't clog up the algorithm or whatever. But like, I would think that being simultaneously live while you're doing TikTok Milky Bags would be plus EV, right? You're already doing well, and you might get some extra crossover, affiliate links, all that stuff, whatever. But I'd be curious, has like, I don't know if what you're doing would be allowed on eBay Live. I think it would be allowed on Fanatics though. I'm curious if you ever considered like Fanatics or YouTube or whatnot, or why exactly you chose TikTok, which maybe we've talked about that. I've watched some of your videos, but not all. There's a lot of videos out there. I have a Black Bolt booster bundle display case. Are they available in the USA? Are you talking about the display that has 10 in it and then you have a master case of 6 displays? Or are you talking about the 25 count cases of single booster bundles? I believe both are available. I don't have either right now because the ones that I had I broke down for packs to sell in the streams, or I consigned them through Probstein. I guarantee that fence setting is negative EV. Yes, I choose to do this in a world. This is actually another thing I have on my my YouTube live notes. There are a lot of different metas that you can go for. Meta, M-E-T-A, most effective tactic available. The meta for YouTube is not fence sitting. Dan, why do you choose to do it? I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I was making the videos a lot of people make. A lot of the $200 vivid voltage, it's only going to go up guarantees. I would have lost sleep having said that and having it been so wrong. I would lose sleep being off the fence. I would lose sleep guaranteeing this is definitely going to happen. Always, never, like 0%, 100%. Those things, I couldn't do it. I fundamentally, as the human being that I am, I couldn't do it. So even though I know it's not the meta for YouTube, I'm making the content I enjoy making. And honestly, like, a lot of what I'm doing in business is not like the most effective tactic available. The meta for live streams is yelling at chat, saying they're dumb, talking them into buying more. I'm losing money at this price. Bid. Getting huge. Like, go on to Whatnot. Go on to some of the Whatnot channels that have 500 people on the stream. The meta for live streaming is selling dollar singles for $5. It's selling $5 slabs for $20. I don't want to do that. I am happy doing the open, honest, transparent, disclaimer, Dan, all that good stuff. I'm making a lot of money doing it too. Will it last forever? I don't know. I think it's more durable than a lot of the other business models that I see, but I might be wrong. And say that it is. If I can make X amount a year for 30 years doing this because it's more durable, someone else might do the meta, use and abuse their audience, use and abuse their customers. They might make more in 5 to 10 years than I make in 30 years. But I still don't, I don't want to do that. I won't do that. I could do the 3 days a week. It's crazy. It blows my mind. Back when I was a full-time chemical engineer, I used to make 3 videos a week. I made videos for like a year, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. How I did that upload schedule, in hindsight, I don't know. I don't know how I did that, but I used to do it. And I just won't. I won't go on TCG Player. I won't just read Poke Beach. I wouldn't enjoy making that content. I wouldn't feel good about it. I'm not saying it's bad for those who do. Because, like, again, there's a consumer base. Just like with mystery products. As long as you're being open, honest, transparent, I'm fine with it. As long as you tell people, these are my thoughts, these are my opinions, these are my beliefs. As long as you don't tell people, guarantee this, guarantee that. Which some of them cross the line and they do that. Which I don't like. Dan, IPAs are overrated. Drink a real beer. Turd burglar. Turd burglar. What is a real beer? I like some real beers too. I've had myself some Budweisers from time to time. I can't do light beer. If you tell me to drink a real beer and then you say that your real beer is like Miller Lite or like Coors Light or Bud Light, please don't do that. But let me know in chat. Let me know in chat what your real beer is. Hopefully it's like I don't like Guinness, but I would respect that more. I drink Utica Club. I drink Saranac beers. I drink Adirondack Lager's a good beer. I drink Budweisers from time to time. I've been known to throw back an American flag, a USA flag, PBR from time to time. Are the instant rips good for instant scamming? No, they're terrible for it. The instant rips are terrible for scamming because they're 100% transparent. Because they are like a full checklist, 50 cards. Here's your grails. Here's your chases. Here's your bases. So they're terrible for scamming. That's why I love them. You physically can't scam with instant rips because they're fundamentally built in a way that they are like a third-party verified card ladder pricing, Fanatics Vault curated, all that stuff. They're like, you don't need trust in them. They're like eBay authenticity guarantee. They're putting the trust out of the seller's hands, which is amazing. It's fantastic. I love it for that reason. See you at Card Party. If you had been just buying and holding since Sword Shield 100K portfolio, would you keep buying and holding or sell off to fund further buys? You have the capital to keep buying and holding. Big thing that matters here, do you have the time? Like I've outperformed, even though if I'd held all my Evolving Skies, it would have gone from 100. Like I only have, at my peak, I might have had 10 cases of Evolving Skies. Had I held them all, 10 cases, 20 grand each, whatever crazy number they are now, I would have turned that 10 grand into 200 grand, which is great. But I also turned that 10 grand into way more money with the iterations, with the time. I built 100,000 pack inventory. Everything I have today, I've taken out 6 figures to pay off my house. I'm taking out 80 grand a year every year since 2021 to fill my buckets, to fill my 401k, IRA, all that stuff. All that money came from my original $5,000. I have more than $1 million in inventory. I've taken more than $500,000 out of the hobby, off the table. All of that came from $5,000 in 2014. A lot of time, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, and appreciation and capital gains, all that stuff. But like everything I have today is just iterating my time over and over and over, and investing gains and all that, rolling it and rolling it and rolling it. Had I, like, my first 5 grand, let's actually do this exercise. This will be fun. I never thought about this, but I'm gonna take a note because I might even talk about this in a video at some point. But if I took my $5,000, so $5,000 into Phantom Forces booster cases. When I got in the hobby, one of my first buys was from Potomac Distribution website, which I thought was a distributor. It was not a real distributor. I bought $600 cases of Phantom Forces and I ripped them. So I could have bought, what is that? A little over 8? I could have bought a little over 8 cases of Phantom Forces. So had I done that, Phantom Forces is like a $10,000, $12,000 box right now. Phantom Forces is like a $70,000 case. I could have bought 8 cases. Had I done nothing, over the past 11 years, had I done nothing, I could have turned 5 grand into $500,000. That's a lot of money for 0 hours time. Buy once, set them, forget them. Consign with Probstein today. Boom, done. That's crazy. I never thought about it in that way, but I didn't. What did I do instead? I've worked, like, the least I've worked between 2014 and now is probably 20 hours a week. Every week since, I've probably put every year since, I probably put at least 1,000 hours in. The biggest years, I probably put 3,000 hours in, 60 hours a week, average across the year. So I've put in an average of, let's say I put in 20,000 hours. So I put in 20,000 hours. So the 500,000 I could have had, I've already taken that out. I paid off my house with over 100 grand in 2020. And I've taken out 80,000 a year every year since 2021 to fill my 401ks and IRAs and everything. So call that a wash. Not quite, but it's pretty close. Call that a wash. But all my inventory I have today is additional. Quite a bit more than 7 figures. Round it down. Say I have $1 million worth of inventory today for my 20,000 hours of work. I've made on average across the past 50 years, I've made $50 an hour. If I liquidated everything today and I stopped doing anything else, I've made $50 an hour. That's a really interesting way to look at it. 11 years, 2K hours a year average. That's gonna be a video. That's gonna be a video at some point. As a chemical engineer, I never made $50 an hour. I never made $100,000 a year, not one single year. 10 years I worked as a chemical engineer, not one of them did I make $50 an hour. So I'm very happy with that. And the thing is, had I had 8 cases of Phantom Forces for 500 grand, it would be great. I would be making maybe 100, 120, somewhere in there if I stayed a chemical engineer. I'm making a lot more than that right now. A lot more. So, like, hindsight makes it easy. I'm glad I did what I did. I could have done nothing and made a lot of money, but I'm doing a lot and I'm making a lot more. So now I have a job, I have a business worth some money. I have more than $1 million in inventory, all that stuff. And I'm glad I was active. I'm glad I was flipping. I'm glad I did what I did. Quit my job when I did, all that stuff. But yeah, that's my story. That's my journey. It's been a wild one. I've thought about what I've done in a lot of different ways, but I've never thought about it in that fundamental way. And that's a really interesting way to illustrate it. Continuing on though. Thank you, man. Love this stuff. That's why I enjoy this too. Like, it makes me think about things in different ways, and it yeah, it's just intellectually stimulating. Congrats on pulling gold, Gardevoir. Every other Thursday, 8 p.m. PST. Yeah, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's tough. I remember that now. Ern thinks he can get me to do a slide deck every week on top of my own content. Not gonna happen. Yeah, that's tough. Nostalgianomics is the main reason I'm up in profit over 5 figures within a year. I hope to meet him someday so I can say thanks. All I did was take his knowledge, Radar's, yours, and Rudy's, and hold. I mean, yeah, I hope, like, I like hearing that people like consume my content and start a business or this, like, but I hope you're not just like, and I know this is the case. I never tell people to quit their job. I never tell people to buy this, sell that, do anything. I tell people what I'm doing and why. And if that inspires you to do something that yields you good results, that's great. If that inspires you to make your own choices, and what I'll say too is, like, I don't deserve any credit for this, in my opinion. I'm putting my thoughts out there. If that inspires you to do something, you made the big boy adult decision to do that, and you fully own. Like, don't give me, Radar, Rudy, like, thank us for making the content, thank us for entertaining, thank us for stimulating your brain to choose to do those things, but ultimately you made the choice to do it, and you fully own that. Like I don't need a thanks for that. Thank you for watching and engaging my content. Thank you for valuing my opinion enough to help it guide you towards doing what you chose to do in the end. I love to hear that, and I take no ownership of those decisions you made. I bought 3 booster boxes of Mega for $275. Feels like a safe number considering all the SV boxes are at $250 or above. What's your thoughts? It is a 3-day-old set or a 5-day-old set or whatever it is. I hate it. I hate that purchase. I am not making that purchase myself, aside from to sell it instantly. So, like, do whatever you want to do. I would buy so many things before I would buy that. I would buy any set SV1 through SV5. I would buy some Sword Shield sets. I would buy loose packs of 151 before I would buy SV Mega boxes at release for $275. Will you make money? Maybe. Could you lose a lot of money? Yes. Could you lose a lot of money buying 151 right now? Yes. But the odds are way lower that you'll lose a lot of money. And the upside is just as high, in my opinion, if not higher. IPAs are definitely in a boom right now too, like this Pokemon market. IPAs are my favorite by far. I'm definitely going to make that a video. Well, I say I'm definitely going to make it a video. I have a YouTube video idea Google document that is like 40 pages long of ideas that I just dump in there when I'm on the toilet, or when I hop out of the shower, when I hop off the lawnmower, or while I'm driving the lawnmower. I put these ideas in here, and I get my video ideas from this, but I don't get to all of them. And then when I make the video, I usually don't delete the idea. So, like, there's like 40 pages, but a lot of them I've already made. But there's dozens of ideas that I haven't made yet. I will try to make that video. Investing versus flipping. I'm going to call it that. That'll be a good... I know Alex talks about investing versus flipping a lot. Investors versus flipping. My actual story. And then I'll yeah, that's a teaser spoiler for an entire video that I'll make. Pokey Martin says, it's because of this channel I ended up contributing more to my deferred compensation at work. I'd say that's a win. Having said that, what booster box should I buy? I mean, a lot of people would say, Dan, I'm a victim of you. Dan, you cost me money. I put money in my 401k and I only doubled my money. But if I bought up all these guys, I would have 5x'd it. I'm a victim of you, Dan. That's when people just really have lost the entire plot. And anybody who can be a victim of me, a victim of Jake, because we're just bearish and they didn't buy as much, you are going to have a long, hard life. If you can't take, and I'm not saying this to you, Pokey Martin, I'm saying this to that, it's not even a theoretical person, because those people exist. Dan, you cost me so much money because you said these things could go down and they went up. I also said they could go up. Why do you plug your ears when I say they might go up? Like, Destined Rivals could be $1,000 box in a year. I say that a lot. And it's true. It could be. It could be $100 box in a year. If you turn that into victimhood, buying less, you're a crybaby, Timmy victim. You're going to have a hard time in life. I don't know what more to tell you than that. So if Pokemon goes to zero, worth zero, you can't pay to get rid of it. You get to walk away only losing your 5K initial investment. What you have in your 401k, etc. You have zero leverage for your $1 million business. Is there a question there? Is there a follow-up coming? So if Pokemon goes to zero, worth zero, can't pay to get rid of it. So all my inventory goes to zero overnight. Okay. You get to walk away only losing your initial 5K investment, which I didn't really lose because like I've taken a lot out. So like right now on net, if Pokemon went to zero overnight, I'm plus 500 grand. I'm plus paying off my house. I'm plus maxing out my 401ks and IRAs every year since then too. If there's a question there, let me know. But it's more of a statement. I have no leverage on my $1 million+ inventory. I have no leverage, and obviously the money that I put into the 401k and all stuff, like it's not doing Pokemon levels, but it's S&P 500 is beaten by Pokemon investing as of right now, right? But it's doing well. It's doing really well. Got 3 Mega Evolution booster boxes at $220 each, feeling the best I can be. Get a stream with Nostalgianomics. I would like, again, you do whatever you're doing, but like if that's all I had for inventory and I had time, I would sell it. I would realize the gains. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you what I would do, what I did do years ago. I would sell it, realize the gains, flip into what I have today. Like everything I have today was because I didn't buy and hold. Had I bought and hold, I would have 100x'd my $5,000 into $500,000, but I would have only 100x'd it. I've done a lot more than that, and I've made a good hourly along the way, and yeah, no regrets. That's gonna be a fun video. I'm excited for that. Most people's are flippers cosplaying as investors. I think most people are like very minimal anything, like very tiny level flipping, very tiny level investing, cosplaying as a lot more than they are. Like a lot of people in general online are cosplaying as things they're not, right? You go into RuneScape, and I see a lot of female character models in RuneScape that I have a sneaking suspicion are played by 35-year-old men. Back when you were playing RuneScape when you were younger and you bought that GF for 10K, it was probably a 14, 15-year-old kid. It was a boy, not girl. Bought a Black Label Burger Chew for 30K. Couldn't feel better about the purchase. Nothing else I can think of would have been a better investment. Please validate my purchase, Dan. Did one go for 30? I know the one went for 21K. Oh man, did one go for 30? I have some at Beckett. I hope I get a Black Label. Please let me get a Black Label, because I will sell mine happily for 30K. No red lights tonight, but we were close a couple times. The question is basically just that: is your business all cash with zero debt? That's crazy. Yes, I have no debt. I have no debt whatsoever, business or personal. One exception. Every month I am carrying, not carrying. Every month I am charging and then paying off 6 figures in credit. I buy all my distro through credit cards. I buy a lot of stuff on eBay, wherever, through credit cards. A lot of it's ACH, a lot of it's friends and family, Zelle these days. But yeah, I might have 100 grand on my credit cards right now, but when the statement comes due, I pay it, pay no interest, and so on. So yeah, with that, I just hit bottom of chat. I apologize. I lost like an hour of questions there. I fear what time I would have been live to if that didn't happen. That's one way YouTube is self-moderating, because if you get more than an hour behind in chat, you just lose it. So yeah, I apologize to all those people. If you're listening back, hoping for your answer, ask it in the comments. I'm a small channel. I am on my march for 8K subs, but ask me in the comments. If you listen through this whole thing and you didn't get your answer to the question you asked, I'm very sorry for that. But yeah, let me know in the comments and I will answer it. I answer every question. A lot of things I just heart. A lot of things it's just a comment. I just heart it. But if you give me a thoughtful question in the comments, I will give you a thoughtful response in the comments. So YouTube recently made it miserable to find all the comments. I go into my YouTube studio and I look at recent comments and it doesn't show me all of them. I have to go to newest and I have to scroll through. Some of them it doesn't show me. It shows me like best match only. But anyways, before I get new questions, I'm going to end the live. I will be live next week on Pokeflips next Thursday. I'll be live in 2 weeks on my channel. If you're at Card Party this weekend, come say hi. I will be there either Friday or Saturday for most of the day. As